Now, if I didn't know any better, I'd say that you're looking at running for president.
Do it. Do it. Look at me. Do it. I will personally write you a campaign check now on behalf of this country, which does not want you to be president, but which badly wants you to run.
I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again.
There's not going to be a President Donald Trump.
I think that man will be president of the United States right about the time that spaceships come down filled with dinosaurs and red cake.
Donald Trump has been saying that he will run for president as a Republican, which is surprising since I just assumed he was running as a joke.
Donald Trump will not become president.
I continue to believe Mr. Trump will not be president.
Donald Trump will never, ever be president.
Moderator, but apparently believes that Donald Trump is a clown.
President Obama will go down as perhaps the worst president in the history of the United States! Exclamation point at real Donald Trump. Well, at real Donald Trump, at least I will go down as a president.
You're never going to be president of the United States by insulting your way to.
Let's see, I'm at 42 and you're at 3.
We have a key race alert right now. Donald Trump now has reached the number of delegates needed to clinch the Republican presidential nomination.
So right now, Mr. Trump, to answer your call for political honesty, I just want to say you're not going to be president, all right? It's been fun. It's been great. I love you. But come on, buddy.
Donald Trump, while we project, will win in Kentucky with its 8th electoral votes, in Indiana with its 11th electoral votes, West Virginia, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Mississippi, South Carolina, Alabama, Kansas with its 6 electoral votes, Nebraska with its 5 electoral votes, and Wyoming with its 3 electoral votes, North Dakota with its 3 electoral votes, and South Dakota, Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, the state of Montana, Missouri, Ohio, Idaho, North Carolina.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
Together, we will make America great again.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into a Thursday edition of CobraCast 199. I am your host, Jeremy Prime, D-Day Cobra Mage of the 199, and I'm happy to see all of you here tonight. And there's a lot to talk about. There's actually a lot to cover. We are in the month of October. We're coming up on about a month to go before the election. And listen, I got to be honest with you. I got some bad news to share with everyone. I don't know how you're going to cope. I don't know. Fuck all of you for saying that it's muted, because you're actually messing with me now, because I keep looking to see, and I don't know if you're telling me the truth or not. So I have no idea. It is a little quiet. Why would it be a little quiet? Testing. It is a little quiet, isn't it? Maybe StreamYards is acting up. Can you hear me now? Is that fixed? StreamYards has been acting kind of weird lately. And it's got automatically adjust the mic volume, low volume. Sounds fine. I have no idea. I have no idea if I'm getting trolled or not. Just talk louder. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll just talk louder. That's not working. StreamYard fix. All right, here we go. How about now? Is that better? Can you guys hear me now? Do I work for Verizon? Can you hear me now? I don't know if that was good or not. Too loud, still low. Yes. God, what a fucking shit show. What a shit show. All right. I love the chat. The chat's always the freaking MVPs. But listen, I got some bad news for all of you, and I'm not sure how you're going to respond to this. This is really, really disturbing news. Okay, this is really disturbing news. This might depress a lot of you, and I hope that it doesn't. I hope you're able to continue to maintain your day. I'm sorry to start off on such a somber note. But Rosie O'Donnell has some opinions, everyone. Rosie O'Donnell has some opinions, and we're just going to have to talk about it. I'm not sure we're ever going to recover from what's about to be said. So we're going to have to listen to Rosie O'Donnell and Rosie's opinions. We may not recover. Here we go.
Certainly is. So I think I told you in the last TikTok, or maybe I didn't, that I signed off of Twitter X, because once he took over, I wasn't doing anything on there anyway. But then I thought, why am I leaving it up, right? So I deleted it for 1 year. And then after 1 year, you could go back if you want, but I'm not going back. I really do not enjoy Elon Musk at all. He's creepy to me. There, I said it. Okay, hold please. Let me check.
How will Elon Musk recover from this devastating news, ladies and gentlemen? How will Elon Musk recover? Ooh, he's in trouble, guys. Elon Musk is in trouble. Twitter may not survive. Trump may not win the election now. If I need to give you all a reminder, because some people might not remember this. But this is the actual story of Rosie O'Donnell versus Donald Trump.
Off all his bankruptcy. This is not a self-made
He's honorable. He paid off his creditors.
No, he didn't. He didn't pay off the people he owed.
He put you on a payment plan.
Lawsuit. Get ready. This is going to be good.
Rosie put you on a payment plan.
He sues, He's going to sue me, but he'll be bankrupt by that time, so I won't have to worry. But I don't know. I just think that this man is like sort of one of those, snake oil salesmen in Little House on the Prairie. You remember that episode where the guy would come in with a lot of bottles and everybody would be like, ooh, and then he'd leave and little Laura Ingalls would go, Dad, I don't think there's anything in this bottle. Well, you're right, Half-Pint. That man was full of crap. That's sort of what it is. I think, I love it. That's my opinion. I don't enjoy him.
New Year's Eve, what did you do?
Well, pretty much I went on various television shows and bashed Rosie O'Donnell.
There you go.
Well, Rosie O'Donnell's disgusting. I mean, both inside and out. You take a look at her, she's a slob. She talks like a truck driver. Rosie attacked me personally because I was very happy when her talk show failed. The other thing that failed, and this was a real monster, and everybody was suing her, was her magazine. Her magazine called Rosie was a total disaster. So I loved it. I gloat over it. I think it's wonderful because I like to see bad people fail. Rosie failed. I'm happy about it. She's basically a disaster. Well, she called me a snake oil salesman. And, coming from Rosie, that's pretty low because when you look at her and when you see the mind is weak. I don't see it. I don't get it. I never understood. How does she even get on television? I believe Barbara made a terrible mistake putting her on, and I think Barbara's probably paying a big price. If I were running The View, I'd fire Rosie. I mean, I'd look her right in that fat, ugly face of hers. I'd say, Rosie, you're fired. We're all a little chubby, but Rosie's just worse than most of us. But it's not the chubbiness. Rosie is a very unattractive person, both inside and out. Rosie's a person that's very lucky to have her girlfriend. And she better be careful or I'll send one of my friends over to pick up her girlfriend. Why would she stay with Rosie if she had another choice?
Good Lord, man. Absolute savagery. That guy should be president. That guy should be president. Should be we should probably elect that guy. Maybe there's an election coming up and we can get that guy elected. I think he would get things done. I don't think he would put up with any bullshit. So, but yeah, so how's everybody doing today? We do have a lot to talk about. I did see that earlier and I was like, I got to show everybody that because it just hit my feed. I don't know if it's old or what with Rosie O'Donnell. I have no idea. Now I did see this. So there's another person that you may have heard of by the name of Diddy. Are you familiar with Diddy? Diddy seems to be having a tough time a tough time. And as you know, I like to say that those that preach the loudest have the most to hide. Those that preach the loudest have the most to hide. So let's hear what Diddy has to say about Donald Trump.
White men like Trump need to be banished.
White men like Trump need to be banished. The music playing over it kind of makes it a little bit difficult to hear. So here we go.
White men like Trump need to be banished. That way of thinking is real dangerous. This man literally threatened the lives of us and our families about going to vote.
So that way of thinking, real dangerous, guys. Okay?
Stand back and stand by.
Stand back and stand by.
Yeah.
We're in a war. We're not taking this like it's a war. We're taking this like, oh, we're in a presidential election. No, we're in a war of love versus hate. The number one priority is to get Trump out of office. White.
Well, Diddy, sounds like you're having a real rough time these days. Hey, man. Sorry for you on that one, Diddy. But we do have, hey, listen, we got some good news for Diddy. I've got an update on Diddy. It's probably not good news for him, but it's good news for us. I actually saw this on the Asthma Gold Clips channel. So let me pull this up really quick. So Diddy, the guy who says Donald Trump is so dangerous and Donald Trump needs to, we need to get rid of that mindset of Donald Trump, right? Okay, well, let's see this really quick right here.
You need the ladies, you need the booze, you need some water.
For watering plants?
No, I don't know if guys have noticed this. Like, a lot of ladies drink water at parties. They just, so you have, if you don't have what they need, they're going to leave.
Right.
Got to keep them there.
Right.
You need locks on the doors.
Locks on the doors. And did you hear everyone laughed? Because it's so funny. Everyone laughed when he said that.
He's drink water at parties. They just, so you have, if you don't have what they need, they're going to leave.
Right.
Got to keep them there.
Right.
You need locks on the doors.
Okay, this is sounding kind of dangerous now.
It's a little kinky, but
yeah.
That's crazy.
Ha 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 ha. That's so funny, huh, everybody? I bet all those same people that were laughing are the same people that get on social media, the same type of people, and preach about inclusion and representation and respecting women. But they had no problem laughing when Diddy was literally telling you what he was doing behind the scenes. So, I thought that was pretty interesting. And it seems like we're getting a lot of that right now. It seems like a lot of things are happening with people that like to preach about inclusion and diversity and representation. There's a lot of that going around, isn't it? Okay. Look at there. Garth Brooks, country music legend, Garth Brooks. I used to listen to Garth Brooks all the time. Loved his music back in the day. I've always loved Garth Brooks' music. Garth Brooks is a bitch. That's just a fact, okay? He just is. He didn't go and perform at President Trump's inauguration. He took shots at people that were boycotting Bud Light. He talked about how much he loves diversity. And now Garth Brooks has been accused of some actions with a makeup artist in a hotel room who worked for his wife. The alleged assault happened in an LA Grammy event in May of 2019. According to the lawsuit, Garth Brooks booked a single hotel room for both of them. When the woman asked for a separate room, Brooks refused. She says when they were alone in the hotel room, Garth Brooks approached her in the doorway with no clothes on, dragged her into a separate room, and dangled her upside down by her ankles. I don't believe that Garth Brooks dangled this woman upside down by her ankles, first of all. Okay? I don't. But I also do not feel bad for Garth Brooks because This is the world that you wanted, Garth Brooks. You wanted the believe women bullshit. You wanted the diversity, inclusion, and representation. You performed at Obama's inauguration. You shook Kamala Harris's hand. You had no problem bending the knee to the Democrats. But when Trump requested that you come perform at his inauguration, you were just too busy. But this is what you wanted, Garth Brooks. Let's listen to what Garth Brooks has to say. Look at what he's wearing right there.
Unity, loving one another, man. That's kind of what you spent your time doing. And as a singer,
unity, everybody, unity. Unless your name is Donald Trump.
That's what you get to sing about.
Here's the deal, man. If you want to come to Friends in Low Places, come in. Come in with love. Come in with tolerance, patience. Come in with an open mind, and it's cool.
Disturbing. It was sad. Try to remember, though, we are the human race. So I'm always going to find sunny sides in there. This is a longer conversation probably between me and you, Jimmy, but the fact that we do make choices very much on the spur of the moment. I deal in music. I deal in raw emotion. That's what music is all about, and all that passion, guided, misguided as it is. I think you saw the human race in a time that, for me as a person, seemed to reflect some other country's headline, if that makes any sense.
So again, Garth Brooks was too busy to perform at Donald Trump's inauguration, but Garth Brooks preaches about diversity, inclusion, and representation and loving everybody. We just need to have love, everybody. We all just need to have love, according to Garth Brooks. Now, Garth Brooks claims that he, I guess, had a scheduling conflict. I'm sure he would have had a scheduling conflict if Barack Obama would have requested, right? I'm sure that same scheduling conflict would have interrupted him going to perform for Barack Obama, which he's done, because of course he would. So, again, these leftists, these people that bend the knee to this bullshit, now they're getting eaten alive by that nonsense. Do I believe, and again, I have no idea if Garth Brooks is guilty or not, but do I believe that Garth Brooks, by the quote in this, says, where's it at? Dangled her upside down by the ankles? Garth Brooks is not really Garth Brooks is not... He's not Trump. He's not 6'3", 215 pounds. He's not ripped and shredded like someone like Donald Trump. You know what I mean? So he's just not. So, but at the end of the day, I don't feel sorry for Garth Brooks at all, because you brought this on. This is the leftist Democratic bullshit that you wanted, okay? With that said, thank you guys for being here. We've got Aaron James with the gifted membership. Thank you. Joe C with the gifted membership. DJ Fisty with a $2 says, may this face bring you joy. Yeesh. Bird Up says, Kamala said her favorite Doritos are nacho cheese. Confirmation that nacho cheese is the soy choice and Cool Ranch is the base choice. AJ for 20 says, Jeremy, I grew up in a middle-class family and I'm voting for Trump Vance. Alpha Chad AJ right there. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Warbreer says, hail Jeremy Lord IDOT. Thank you, Warbreer. Lawless Enterprises says, all hail Geeks and Gamers crew. Jeremy, I can't thank you enough for making that short. My son thought it was hilarious when you actually called him, but after that short, I am super dad. You guys are the best. Hail. Hey, thank you, man. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. The chat, you guys make all of this happen. And I can't thank you all enough for giving us an opportunity to do what we do. We work for you. We work for the people. And we all know that. And so I thank you guys. Shadow Sand says, press F if you can't hear Jeremy. Lord Voldemort says, nothing wrong with the audio, just trolls. This is going to be a common thing now, isn't it? Where every time I go live, and then there's going to be real times where I'm actually muted, but I'm not going to believe you guys. And so I'm just going to continue to talk while I'm muted. Nandy says, yes, Fig voice as usual. Lord Bothus says, apologies, Sweeney Haba in 3, 2, 1. Jay Ritzy for 20 just picked up a deluxe and cheese curds from Culver's back home just in time for CobraCast 199. Whew, that sounds good, man. I'm jealous of you right now. I'm jealous of you. I bet it's good. I bet it's fantastic. Culver's is goated, and nothing is even close. Nothing is even close. Grant Potato says, when you said that you had devastating news, I thought you were going to say that you weren't gay. I wasn't expecting an irrelevant opinion of female Rudy Giuliani. I actually do have some interesting news that I want to talk about. This is actually something we need to start paying attention to, and we need to start understanding all of this. So Election Time is a YouTube channel that I'm subscribed to, and we're going to go over this. So this is a breakdown of how things are going to play out right now based on the information that we have with the Electoral College. So we're going to watch this and break it down. But if you're looking for them to stay on top of this, I mean, it's a good channel. It's a good channel. So let's go ahead and watch this and pay attention to this and understand what the dynamics are, because we are a little over 30 days away from the general election, and there's only a few states that are going to decide this. There's only a few states that are going to decide this, and we have to make sure that we understand the dynamics here. So here we go.
Destroyed Tim Walz in the first and only vice presidential debate. Democrats had a lot of work to do as Kamala Harris continues to slip behind in the polls, with Trump surging in the swing states. Walz did not get what he needed to do done, and this puts him and the vice president in a very precarious position.
And this is a post-debate electoral college right here. So this is post-debate.
As we enter the final month of the campaign. And in this video, I'll be updating my 2024 electoral map to show you how the math has changed for both Harris and Trump following the debate. We'll begin by filling in the solid states for both candidates. These are states where either Harris or Trump are going to win by 15 percentage points or more. The vice president is going to easily carry Washington, California, Hawaii, as well as Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Maryland, and the District of Columbia, along with the 1st District of Maine. This gives her just 109 electoral votes. While for Trump, he is going to win Utah, Wyoming, Idaho, Montana, North and South Dakota, all of Nebraska except the 2nd District, Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, Indiana, South Carolina, Alaska, and the 2nd District of Maine.
All right, now that we're starting to look good, starting to fill out the map with some bread. I know some of you are saying audio is low. I don't know if I can take you guys seriously. I have no idea. I've turned it up as loud as I can, though.
Along with Iowa, a state he won in both 2016 and 2020 by a nearly double-digit margin. And so with these safe states filled in for both candidates, Donald Trump takes an early lead with 132 electoral votes. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz at just 109. Vance's strong performance last night is definitely going to help out the GOP in winning Iowa by the largest margin they've won it by since the 1980s. Now, for the likely states, these are races in which either candidate will win by 7 to 15 points. They are going to be noticeably more competitive, but one candidate will still maintain a slight edge. And so starting off with the likely blue states, we have Oregon and Illinois, 2 states that went to Joe Biden by solid margins back in 2020. He won Oregon by 16 points, Illinois by 17. Kamala Harris simply isn't going to perform as well as the incumbent president. And then up in the Northeast, we have New York, New Jersey, and Delaware. Democrats have really been struggling, especially in New York and New Jersey. I mean, in New York, their leaders have just been plagued by scandal. First, in 2022, we had the resignation of Andrew Cuomo as governor.
I know there's some speculation that Trump is going to be competitive in New York, and he's probably going to be a little more competitive than we've had him previously. But, man, I don't think he's actually going to win New York. And I think that there's some people that thinks that that's the possibility, but I don't think he's actually going to win New York.
And then Kathy Hochul wasn't any more popular. Her first lieutenant governor resigned due to scandal. And then just a few days ago, New York City Mayor Eric Adams, who is, of course, a Democrat, was indicted on charges of corruption. And so really this has tanked support for Democrats in the Empire State. Bob Menendez in New Jersey isn't helping them out either. And so these 3 traditionally blue states, New York, New Jersey, and Delaware, are going to be a lot more competitive than they were 4 years ago when Joe Biden won all 3 of them by 15 percentage points or more. And finally, we have Colorado, a state that Biden won by nearly 14 points in the last election. I'm going to give Harris the benefit of the doubt I have her winning Colorado by just over 7 points, so it's barely going to be a likely blue state. But at this point, Colorado is still relatively liberal. It will be quite difficult for Trump to make too many inroads there. However, he will definitely do much better than he did in 2020. Now it's time for the likely red states that Trump is going to win by 7 percentage points or more. We're going to begin with Ohio, a state that he won in both of the last 2 elections. He actually flipped it back in 2016. Before this, I went to Obama by 3 points in 2012. And then in 2020, everybody thought Ohio was going to be a lot more competitive. Polls showed that he was going to win it by just 1%. But in the end, Trump carried the Buckeye State by an 8-point margin. He's going to win it by a double-digit margin this time around. There's no doubt Ohio is likely red. And then down in Texas, we have another state that was thought to be very competitive in 2020, despite it not having gone blue since 1976. People thought Joe Biden could actually pull off a victory in the Lone Star State, but that was never going to happen. Trump eventually won it by 6 points. Not really the best margin. He won it by 9 in 2016, but against Kamala Harris this November,
there were some concerns about Texas because of essentially a lot of how Texas, certain points of like, was it Austin, Texas is essentially becoming, lower California or Southern California at this point, with a lot of California people moving to Texas. And that was kind of a concern from that perspective. But I don't think that got to worry about Texas.
Our president
right
is
now,
on track to win Texas by 10 percentage points or more. Before we continue, nearly 80% of you guys are not subscribed, so please take the time to subscribe right now for more content like this leading up to the election in November. And join my Discord server.
So I see a lot of people like, how bad is Austin? I'm actually curious how bad Austin is. I don't know if I've ever been to Austin, Texas. I've been to Texas many times. I don't think I've ever been in Austin, Texas, though. It's bad. A lot of people are saying it's bad. And Houston, what's going on with Houston? I mean, I've been to Houston, Texas a few times. Dallas, I've been to Dallas. I enjoy Dallas. So just think California. Man, I have heard horrible stuff about Austin. Isn't like Alex Jones still located in Austin? Or did he move? Is he somewhere else in Texas now? Or is he still in the Austin area? And wasn't it Crowder? Wasn't Crowder in Austin as well? That's crazy. Yep, he's in Austin. That's wild.
To chat with me personally, link in the description below. And then the last likely state on this map is going to be Florida. Just 4 years ago, Florida was among the most competitive states in the country. Polls had Joe Biden winning by 2 to 3 points. He eventually lost it by that margin, which came as a pretty big surprise. He did worse than Hillary Clinton 4 years prior. And today, Florida is no longer in play. It isn't considered a battleground. It's not a swing state. It's not even remotely competitive. Donald Trump is going to win by 7 to 10 points. We saw in 2022, Governor Ron DeSantis got reelected by a 20-point margin. The race in Florida is going to be more competitive on the presidential level, but there's no doubt Republicans are going to win it for a third time in a row.
Florida's not going to be a problem. Florida's not going to be a problem at all. We will learn very quickly that Florida will be a Trump country, and that's not really anything to worry about. So again, as you see, most of this is filling out very easily. There's no questions. There's only a few states that are going to be in question, and there's one state in particular that is shaping up to be the single most important state.
Trump at the top of the ticket. So Florida will be the final likely red state going to Trump. And so with both the solid and likely states now filled in for both candidates, the former president continues to lead with 219 electoral votes to Kamala Harris's 191. Trump is now just 51 electoral votes away from the presidency. We're now left with 12 states. These are going to be the lean and tilt states, the most competitive states.
Now, these are going to be the ones that everybody, election night, once election night gets here, you should probably take a screenshot of this right here. And we don't need to worry about any of these states. All of these states right here, that's pretty much the direction they're going to go. Everything that's not highlighted, that's on election day. That's what we got to be worried about. These states right here are the only states to worry about. This is the only ones.
states on the map. Together, they're worth 128 electoral votes, less than a quarter of the Electoral College, but they really do wield all the power. It is in these states where the election is won or lost, especially key states like Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Arizona, and Georgia. So we're going to start off with the lean blue states for Harris. First state she's going to win by 2 to 7 points. And we're going to begin up in the Northeast with New Hampshire and Maine. She's probably going to win these states by the midpoint of Clinton and Biden's margins from 8 and 4 years ago. In 2016, Hillary Clinton won New Hampshire by 0.37. She won Maine by 2.9. Joe Biden did a little better. He won New Hampshire by 7.4, Maine by 9.1. Kamala Harris is probably going to win both of these states by around 4 to 6 points. She is definitely favored, but these are not going to be impressive victories by any means. Moving on down to New Mexico, this is a state that Democrats have not lost since 2004. Joe Biden actually won it by a double-digit margin in 2020, but Democrats really aren't going to do too much better in New Mexico in the coming decades. They're probably going to lose it in less than 20 years as the Hispanic vote continues to shift to the right. And New Mexico is the only state in the country with a majority Hispanic electorate. They really are starting to favor Trump and the GOP more and more. And so that is why I have it as a lean blue state. Kamala Harris, believe it or not, is doing much worse with minority voters than Biden was in 2020.
I believe it. I mean, Kamala Harris is an incredibly unlikable, unpopular person. She just is. There has been more fake support for Kamala Harris than any politician we've ever seen. Because why? Because she didn't actually earn the position she's in. At least every other politician has actually earned the spot of being the nominee. She didn't even earn it. She didn't get a single vote. Why didn't she get a single vote? Because no one likes her. So they knew that they couldn't do it this way. They had to do it this late in order to insert her, because there was no way that people were actually going to vote for her, because we've seen her in primaries before. And do you know what happened? No one liked her. No one could stand her. Like, she was so incredibly unlikable. Let's see here. Let's see. Scrunch6 says, been watching since you were coming at me with another video when The Last Jedi came out. Never figured at the time I would be watching for coverage of the great Donald Trump as well. Hail the 199. That is awesome, man. That is awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That is great to hear. Bradley for 99 says, screw these poll nerds. New York is flipping red. MAGA, Bills, Mafia. Dude, I hope, okay, but I'm trying to put things in proper perspective, and I just don't want people to get overly hyped. Trust me, if New York goes red, I will lose my mind, okay? It will be the greatest thing ever, but I just don't see it happening. I just don't see that realistically happening. Yave says, it is absolutely incredible and astonishing, some facts revealed lately, and the more we look into it closely, the more impossible it seems. Jeremy, you are gay. That's it. Thank you. Appreciate that. Lean back, have a snack, take a nap. Says it takes a special kind of fig to open up with Rosie O'Donnell. I was having a pretty good day. Man, where's Jay? Hail the 199. Jay's too big of a deal. He's too big of a deal. Buster Nut Smash says, was that Garth Brooks or Chris Gaines? Maybe a little bit of both.
Basically performing on par with Hillary Clinton and her performance with minority voters from 2016, which is a really bad sign because minority voters make up a huge block of the Democratic coalition. And so New Mexico being lean blue is not a good sign for the vice president in a state that Biden carried by 11 points in the last election. And now for the lean Trump states, we have quite a few of them, many of them in the Sun Belt. I'm going to begin with Arizona, which has quickly become the most conservative of the 8 swing states. I also include Virginia as one of those toss-ups. I mean, we might even start to include Minnesota after this point, but Arizona, out of all the states left, is probably going to go to Trump by the largest margin. He's been absolutely dominating in the polls there. He's led in all 10 of the last 10 polls conducted in the state. His odds in Arizona, according to the betting markets, are higher than his odds in both North Carolina and Georgia. And so a state that Biden won in the last election, Kamala Harris is almost starting to lose it this time around. Arizona is going to be lean red, with the former president on track to win by around 3 to 4 points. And then moving out east, we have North Carolina, the only swing state that's gone to Trump in both 2016 and 2020. He won it by 4 points 8 years ago, and then 4 years ago, he won the state by just over 1%. But this was a really good surprise for Republicans, because basically all the polling said that they were going to lose the Tar Heel state entirely, but somehow Trump came out with a victory. And so today he's on track to win North Carolina for a third time in a row. He's dominating the polls just like in Arizona, but Mark Robinson is not going to help Trump here. He's probably going to pull him down, but Trump has done very well in North Carolina in the 2 elections he's running already, and he's going to do well once again. I see him winning by around 3 percentage points. Next up in Georgia, this was the most competitive state.
Yeah, Georgia. Listen, we're just going to take things at face value for how they're being presented, but we all know what happened in Georgia. We all know what bullshit happened, okay? But the record books show that Joe Biden won Georgia, which is 100% bullshit, and we know that, but it is what it is. So we're just gonna leave it at that. We're just gonna leave it at that. Bubba Dank for 10 says, we can't say Kamala didn't earn anything. I mean, if her knees are red. Well, you're right about that. Willie Brown and Montel Williams would certainly say she earned it. So I stand corrected. I stand corrected. Kamala doesn't stand, but I stand corrected.
In 2020, it was decided by the smallest margin. Just 0.24% of the electorate separated the incumbent president and the former president. But today, there's no doubt Trump is on track to win Georgia back. Biden's victory here in 2020 was the first for any Democrat since 1992. Kamala Harris is not going to make history again. She simply isn't performing nearly as well as Biden was in the last election. In 2016, Trump actually won the Peach State by 5 points. So Georgia still is a fundamentally red state. And so it's going to go back into the GOP column at this time around. And what we're seeing is that North Carolina, Georgia, and Arizona, these 3 states are slowly becoming more and more reliable for Trump. He can basically count on all 3 of these states' electoral votes, which means that out of the remaining states, with the exception of Nevada, he only needs to win 1 more to clinch the presidency. And that state is probably going to be Pennsylvania, the Keystone.
And I agree, cultural breakdown. So right now you've got Nevada, you've got Pennsylvania, you got Virginia, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. Whoo! And right now, based on the map that is being laid out here by election time, right now, as it stands, Trump is at 262. All right?
State has been noted by basically everyone as being the most important state for both sides. If Trump wins Pennsylvania, he gets to over 270. And the reason why it's Pennsylvania is because, yes, Trump can definitely win states like Wisconsin, Michigan, Nevada, maybe even Virginia. But if he wins these states, he's already going to have won Pennsylvania by a larger margin. So in terms of the states that are necessary for him to win the White House, Pennsylvania is probably going to be the one that gets Trump over 270 electoral votes. He's retaken the lead in the polling averages, and he's definitely favored to win back the Keystone State. He won it by 0.72 in 2016. This was a very close margin. This was the first time a Republican won Pennsylvania in 24 years. And then in 2020, he lost it narrowly to Joe Biden by just over 1%. And today, he's going to win it back again. Pennsylvania is going to flip-flop back to the GOP, with Kamala Harris performing much worse than Biden and Clinton were in the polling.
Now, he says this, okay? He says this, but trust me, I've got more to say as soon as this video is done, because what's being presented here is only part of the story. What's being presented here is only part, and that's what everybody has to understand. Can't take this at face value because there's a lot more details that goes along with this.
At this point in 2020 and 2016. We have one final lean state, and that will be Wisconsin. After that disaster of a debate for Walz, he is going to hurt Harris now in Wisconsin. For a while, people thought Pennsylvania would vote to the right of Wisconsin just because Walz was going to give the vice president a boost in Wisconsin, as he is the governor of Minnesota, and the two states share a pretty long border. But at this point, it doesn't seem like Walz is helping out Harris too much. Trump is going to win Wisconsin by a lean margin. He's going to carry it by just over 2 points. In fact, Trump has done very well in Wisconsin in the last 2 election cycles. He won it by 0.76% in 2016, but then when he lost it in 2020, he was supposed to lose the state by 8 points. He lost it by just 0.6. Polling today shows a tie between Trump and Harris, which is a very good sign for the Trump campaign. And even when Biden won in 2020, he only won the state by 0.6, a smaller margin than Trump's from 4 years prior. And now we're left with just 4 states. These are going to be tilt states decided by 2 percentage points or less. I'm going to get the 2nd district of Nebraska out of the way first. It is going to be tilt blue. But then out in Nevada, this is a state that Trump can flip. It's a state he's never won before, as no Republican has carried Nevada since George W. Bush in 2004. But today, Nevada is shifting to the right. In 2016, Hillary Clinton carried the state by 2.4%. Joe Biden won it by the exact same margin in 2020 when he improved off of Clinton's margin in basically every other state. There were only 5 states where Biden did worse than Clinton. And in 2022, Republicans won the governorship here. Another clear sign that Nevada is shifting in favor of the GOP. And so this November, Trump has a very good chance at winning the state for the first time as a Republican.
I don't know about that one.
In 20 years. And then the final state to go to the former president is going to be the Wolverine state of Michigan, a state he won back in 2016 against Hillary Clinton by a 0.2% margin. He lost it to Biden by 2.8, but he's on track to win it back this time around. Polling severely underestimated support for Trump in Michigan 4 years ago. He was supposed to lose the state by 7 points. He eventually lost it by less than 3. And today, the polls in Michigan are basically a tie, just like they are in Wisconsin. And when the polls are tied, you can be pretty confident that Trump is going to come out on top. And so the Michigan is going to be the final.
That is a good point. When the polls are tied in any specific state, because historically Trump has, he doesn't poll very well. So when you see him tied in states right there, you can almost assume that he's going to overperform those polls.
Final red state on the map, it's going to be tilt in favor of the former president. And now we're left with both Minnesota and Virginia. Virginia has always been very competitive this election cycle. Before Joe Biden dropped out, he was on track to lose the state entirely based on the polling average. And today, Kamala Harris isn't really doing that much better. Many polls have her leading by just 3 points. But considering Joe Biden carried the state by 10 points in the last election, I still do see Harris squeaking out a narrow victory. And then in Minnesota, Tim Walz's performance is not going to help him too much in the state. Minnesota is always going to be competitive. If Walz wasn't the Democratic vice presidential nominee, there's a very good chance Trump would currently be favored in the state. But Walz is still the governor. He's still going to give Harris a boost, but definitely not as much as he was going to give her before this debate. And so Minnesota, the last state on the map, is going to be tilt blue. It's going to be just as competitive as it was in 2016 when Hillary Clinton pulled out a 1.5% victory. Nobody thought it was going to get that close. And so following the first and probably only Vance-Walz debate, Trump is at 312 electoral votes, Harris at just 200.
So now that looks good, and that's all great and dandy. And I'm going to give you even more good news before I hit you with the bad news. So I'm going to give you a little more good news. And we've got this right here. ALX, something is happening in Pennsylvania. Polymarket now has Trump with a 4% lead in the Pennsylvania odds. So something's been going on in Pennsylvania, okay? So trending in the right direction. But now I get to hit you with the truth. And here's the unfortunate truth. Increases in illegal immigration population in swing states under the Biden-Harris administration. 45,000 people in Georgia. North Carolina, 32,000. Pennsylvania, 25,000. Arizona, 24,000. Nevada, 15,000. Michigan, 13,000. Wisconsin, 10,000. So this is why you cannot get complacent at all. This is why you can't get comfortable by hearing all the bullshit with, oh, man, Trump is polling so well. Oh, he's going to get over 300 electoral votes. You can't get caught up in all that. You can't do it. too big to rig. That is the name of the game. A 1-point victory here, a 1-point victory there, not going to be enough. It's got to be too big to rig. That is the bottom line here. So yes, that was a story that I wanted to tell. I wanted to show what the data is showing, which is obviously good for President Trump. And that I think historically with him, with the polls, he doesn't perform very well. So the fact that he's going to perform even better than what the polls are showing shows that he's got a really good chance. But then you bring something like this up and you got to go, nope, can't get complacent. 28-3. We are the Patriots. They are the Falcons. Sorry for my Falcons fans out there. I know it's a painful reminder, but you're never going to live that one down. But that's the reality of the situation right there. 28-3. That's it right there. All right, let me see how everybody's doing. I see Dan Vask in the chat talking shit as he always does. A good old Dan Vask. Project Taco says, Garth talks like he curves churros and swallows. Lord Botha says, look up Tom Segura's thoughts on Garth Brooks. He has a pretty interesting theory. Oh, I've seen him. I think that's how you say his name. He's always on Joe Rogan. Gerald Armstrong says, you need to watch Depressed Ginger and Red Eagle Politics. I think I've watched Red Eagle Politics before, I think. Stream Hero says, remember how Trump plays opera music? He plays the same song as a surviving an assassination. It's the sum of all fears, Trump sending a message. Yes, actually, I forgot that. And then he played it at one of his rallies. And I was like, why is he playing that song? And I forgot that was the reason why. Samuel says, election time is great. Don't agree with everything he says, but he did guess the exact number of electoral votes Joe Biden won by in 2020. There you go. Michael Gorzik says, thank you for the positivity to you and the 199, rather focusing on the negative news the mainstream shares daily. Hey, thank you, brother. Thank you for being here. Jules says, Virginia for Trump. The Under Armour Gamer says, from Oregon, from Oregon, 0 shot, it goes red. 0 shot, Oregon goes red. We'll see. I mean, I wasn't, I never thought Oregon was really even in play, to be honest. So let me see. There was one thing I wanted to pull up really quick, too, on my bookmarks. I got to show you guys. I think you'll like this. You know, chat deserves a little bit of eye candy, okay? So, and it's informative eye candy, okay? Informative eye candy. Anna Paulina Luna. Let's hear what Anna Paulina Luna has to say.
North Carolina is underwater, 1,000 people missing. While Pinellas County, we had 11 deaths, and we have a majority of our residents that aren't going to be able to come back to their homes because they're completely destroyed. You have Mayorkas, the Biden-Harris administration, and radical leftists in Washington, mostly in the Democrat Party, gave illegals $1.1 billion in housing assistance.
Mhm.
People that never paid into the system. Mind you, they wouldn't have been here in the first place if they weren't campaigning on open borders, but that's a separate video. You should be pissed. And if you think as a legislator, I'm not pissed, and I don't see the games that happen in Washington, hoping that you're not paying attention, because that's how it goes up there, is they hope the American people are too busy working to pay attention to the crap that they're doing. I'm telling you, you need to get out and vote, because this is not going to stop. It's just going to continue with the inflation, with the border security issues. And now we have Americans that are literally dying, not being able to get assistance. And the administration says, it's okay, we'll give you $750. Meanwhile, they said our tax dollars overseas to fund countries that don't need it, and they give it to illegal immigrants.
Get him, Anna Paulina Luna. She's on fire. She's 100% right, too. And she is MAGA all the way. Always has been. So, yeah, I was really happy to see her calling that stuff out. It's so unbelievably frustrating to watch all of this play out. And I retweeted this tweet right here from, where was it? Breaking 911. Like, if this doesn't frustrate you, I don't know what does.
And the federal relief and assistance that we have been providing has included FEMA providing $750 for folks who need immediate needs being met. And the federal relief and assistance.
Bro, as I said, if you vote for her, you're actually retarded. You're actually retarded. If you do that, it is mind blowing to me that anybody with a working brain and the slightest bit of common sense would actually vote for this person. It's mind blowing. $750. Billions to Ukraine, billions to Israel, $750 for Americans reeling from a natural disaster. Fuck these mother effers. Why did I censor the second part, but I said fuck in the first part? Really weird. That doesn't make any sense. Guess I'm just trying not to overdo it, but I stand by what I said. Absolutely disgusting. But the more she talks, the worse it gets, okay? The more she talks, the worse it gets for her administration and for everybody surrounding her. Let her keep talking. Let her keep talking. Oaktown Girl says, sadly, drag queen story hour thrives in Texas and not just Austin. Yeesh. That's kind of scary. Our Angry Salt for 20 says, what are we going to do if they steal it? What can we do? That's a question I can't answer. That's why it's important to mobilize now, because if it's after it's all said and done, it's too late. That's why the work has to be done now. And I do think that a lot of good is happening right now. I absolutely do think there's a lot of good happening. If you look at like this right here, this is powerful stuff, okay? When you hear President Trump talk like this is powerful stuff that I think wakes up the normies.
I want to thank Elon Musk. He endorsed me. More importantly, he endorsed me strongly. He said, you better vote for Trump if you want to save your country. And he's a smart cookie, but he did something else. I was in Georgia the other day and after the floods, and they were having tremendous problems, in particular in North Carolina. You can't even get in. They were wiped out. They had no communication whatsoever. And they said, do you know somebody named Elon Musk? I said, I happen to know him. He just endorsed me. They said, is there any way he does a product, Starlink? Did anyone ever hear of Starlink? And it's another one of his genius products. It is genius too, actually. And they said, is there any way? Because North Carolina, in particular, has absolutely no communication. We can't communicate. You can't get there. You just can't talk. And many people are missing. You know, it's really bad. It's really, really bad. Many people are missing, and our federal government is doing so badly. So I said, Elon, can you do us a favor? Can you take care of it? He had within 45 minutes planes and helicopters loaded up with this equipment, and they were having perfect communication within less than 24 hours. It was unbelievable. And I said to the person that got me and made the request, who's over there really suffering too, I said, well, what's the difference between that and what they had with the hard wire? They said, actually, the hard wire is not as good. Think of that. So this man got, and he also said, just take it. You'll pay if you can. I mean, people are getting these expensive systems from him, and we really owe him a debt of gratitude. Elon Musk. Great. Not a lot of people would have done that. Most people could not have acted that fast either. He got it right away. They were starting to load, I think, before the phone conversation ended. So we have to thank him.
Imagine having these two guys working together. Imagine have these two guys working together. Donald Trump as the president, the most powerful man in the world, with the richest man in the world and one of the most influential human beings we're ever going to have. These two guys working together with the rest of the team that Trump is building out, it's unstoppable. It's an unstoppable team that Trump is building right now. I can't be more excited. So, Angry Salt, to kind of answer the question, the time is now. The time is not after the fact. The time is now to get out there and start getting people convinced and showing people the facts, showing people what's going on. If some people are not worth having a conversation, they're just not. That's the unfortunate reality of the situation. Some people are not. And so, but there are people that are willing to have a conversation. And if you can find someone that's willing to talk, explain to them what's going on, show them video clips, and explain the seriousness of the situation. Or maybe you can just show them this right here. Because if you show them this right here, maybe this will get them worried. Because this is what the United States of America is going to be looking like under the Biden-Harris or the Harris-Walz administration. That's what we're looking at right there. I mean, we can't survive. We can't survive this. This is crazy. And so that was on end wokeness there. Allowing this to go on for 3+ years is just it's not just impeachable, it's treason. So scary times indeed. If anything, if you got somebody that's on the fence, just have them tune into CobraCast. Do we have anybody on the fence right now watching CobraCast? Do we have anybody on the fence? If you're on the fence, ask me questions. Ask the chat questions. Let's see what people have to say. Let's see what questions they're asking. Because that would be the first step, is to find out, do we have any people on the fence? There's got to be a few lurkers that are on the fence and going, what's going on here? I need to understand what's going on. And if there are, I'll show you this right here if I can find it. Like, all I'll say is, how could you not want to have this guy back in office, okay?
I just told him I've got to come over and see the fake news. Let's go. What do you have, John? I just told him I've got to come over and see the fake news. Let's go. What do you have, John?
Do a poll. A poll for what? If anybody's on the fence. Let's see. Trying to see. I don't know what you guys want me to do a poll of. Tell me again in the chat. Okay. Let's see. Start a poll. How are you voting? How are you voting? Trump, Harris, not sure. Not sure yet. All right, here we go. There it is. Trump, Harris, not sure yet. Let us know. Let us know. I got a feeling Trump is going to dominate that one. Trump is Bruce Wayne. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Let's see. All right. So right now, it's 96%, 95% Trump, 3% Harris, 2% not sure yet. We'll give it some time. We've already got 700 votes. We've got almost 3,000 people watching on YouTube. We got another 300 over on Rumble. We've got people on Kick. We got people on Twitter. So wherever you're watching, we appreciate you being here. So thank you. Thank you for being here. And there is a lot more to talk about that we want to cover because the nonsense has just been a little bit out of control today. In fact, while we're waiting, I'm going to read some super chats, and then I've got another video that I think you guys might enjoy. I got a video you might enjoy. Gohan Creates says Operation 1776. If they try any of the following, cheat, push us into war, or succeed in actual attempt revolution. This is actually happening. People are locked and loaded with the salute. Thank you, Prometheus Creations. Appreciate you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Margaret Riggle says, I'm Texan, and as I said before, was Democrat, now voting entire Republican ticket. Many are changing like me. Don't worry about Texas. Texas, we are not worried about Texas. Let's go. Pixel Sharks has been really missing my best friend Jay. Watching makes me feel closer to him somehow. I remember him saying that he really liked your channel, Jeremy. Thanks for the comfort. Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that, brother. Pixel Shark, thank you, man. And I'll always love your profile picture. I just pixelated gaming is just the best. It really is. Meme TV in the house says too big to rig Trump 2024. Bradman says the record will also show that Trump won New York. Bills Mafia, make America healthy again. Make America great again. Fig. Love Dog says, why can't they install live cameras at the drop boxes in swing states and man them 24/7 during early voting and voting day? Seems easy enough. Am I missing something? No, you're not. Just like why can't they actually just hire former military and former police officers to be security guards at schools to protect kids? There's plenty of people out there that'd be willing to do it, and the government could pay for it, but they don't want to because they don't really care about protecting children. Blackguard for 20. Elon Musk is the Iron Man to Trump's Captain America in terms of image. You are correct. You are correct. Alden the Blue says, I know I am right on the money when my YouTube comment about the elites quickly trying to tear this country apart for its wealth and resources, then sell the leftovers to foreign countries gets deleted. Did it get deleted or did they censor it? I mean, sometimes YouTube auto censors things too. I'm very sure that our mods didn't do anything like that. Our mods only delete spam, or if somebody's intentionally like saying gamer words to get the channel in trouble, which can get the channel in trouble. 95% Trump, 3% Harris, 2% not sure. 2% not sure. American Woman says, I just invited my son to come here. He is unsure. Really? Let me highlight that comment. Where's it at? Where's it at? I just invited my son to come here. He is unsure. Well, welcome to your son. I hope he tunes in. That is absolutely cool. We love seeing that. I know, Jessica. I know. Our mods don't delete comments like if the people are just making points. You can even talk bad about me. It's totally fine. Now, with that said, check this out. James O'Keefe. Shocker. MSNBC producer admits the network is brainwashing and dumbing down their viewers in an effort to get Kamala elected. Look at there. So it looks like we might have some new viewers. So be nice, chat. We're trying to convince people that might be on the fence. Okay? So be nice, chat. Just like you're nice to me. Be nice to anyone in the chat asking some questions, okay? Because my chat's always nice to me. Here we go.
So do you feel like MSNBC is doing enough to help the Harris campaign?
I mean, they're doing all they can. Meet Basil Hamden, a writer and producer for...
Basil Hamden. Basil Hamden. Okay.
MSNBC's weekend show, Iman. Basil also reveals that, quote, what her message of the day is their MSNBC's message of the day.
What have they done to help the Harris campaign?
Amplify her message. What her message of the day is their message of the day. Hamden revealed that MSNBC is the Democratic Party's mouthpiece and is doing anything to get Kamala elected. Hamden says this news network is indistinguishable from the Democratic Party.
So is MSNBC just like doing whatever it takes to get Kamala elected?
Yes. It hammers home the point that I'm making, that this news network is indistinguishable from the party.
Are they just a Democrat?
Yeah. I mean, it's nice to have it confirmed. These are things that we have said over and over again, but it's nice to have it confirmed directly. It's just like the Disney tapes that James O'Keefe and O'Keefe Media Group showed us. This is fantastic content from them, and I really appreciate that they go out of their way to do this, exposing a lot of this corruption. I know it's obvious, but what are we talking about here? Let's be real. Can I just be real? I mean no disrespect, okay? But for the next 30-something days, this show has got to focus on talking to people in the middle and not anyone that's convinced. Now, obviously, I'm going to talk to everybody, but I'm just saying that our focus has to be like people that are going to vote for Trump are going to vote for Trump. People that are watching this show, 95% of the audience, they're voting for Trump. There's a few people in the middle that we might can convince. That's the most important thing right now for the next 30-something days.
Democratic Party's mouthpiece?
Exactly.
MSNBC is the Democratic Party's mouthpiece.
Yeah. Basil calls MSNBC viewers brainwashed and states that MSNBC made their viewers dumber over the years. Viewers get mad at the guests or the host if the host were to criticize Democrats. They've made their viewers dumber over the years. I think brainwashing and dumbing down,
it's bad.
Aggressive.
I get it.
Helps Trump.
When she's delivering these messages now, I think she keeps getting better.
Kamala Harris is telling the truth. The hate campaign against Kamala Harris has begun.
The hate campaign against Kamala Harris. Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me? The hate
Successfully pronounce her name wrong.
But as a black woman, the product of a mixed marriage, she's an inspiration.
I don't know, Nicole, vote for her or don't vote for her, but isn't it great to just have a positive conversation right now?
Last week, we saw Vice President Kamala Harris's first mainstream media solo interview of her presidential run with MSNBC's Stephanie Ruhle.
Listen, I am not overselling this. I have been following politics for a long time. There has never been, and I'm saying this as a person that was around during the George W. Bush days, there has never been a candidate as stupid as Kamala Harris, even dumber than George W. Bush. I'm not a fan of George W. Bush at all. Very much can't stand him. Kamala Harris makes George W. Bush look like Elon Musk. That's how dumb she is. She is so stupid. She can't answer basic questions. She can't have a basic conversation with another adult. She can't answer basic questions about her administration. Kamala, I'm an idiot from Alabama, okay, who's wearing Crocs. Kamala Harris couldn't do a live stream like I do. That's not a high bar, okay? We're not dealing with the best here, okay? We're not dealing with the best. And she couldn't even do what I do. She couldn't even sit here and just talk to a chat.
Many people were stating how much of a softball interview it was. Here's a clip from that.
I just want to ask you yes or no. At any point in your life, have you served 2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun, working at a McDonald's? Yes or no? That's it. I have. Okay.
With that, OMG decided to look into MSNBC and their cozy relationship with the vice president. Meet Basil Hamden, a writer and producer for MSNBC's weekend show, Iman. Hamden's background includes working at the Huffington Post as a news director and being the executive producer for Michael Moore. Basil met our OMG American swiper on the dating app Bumble and divulged about his job to our undercover journalist.
Wait a minute. Let's hang on.
American swiper on the dating app Bumble.
Is he interested in women or men? Because like, I know the whole narrative here is that, James O'Keefe must have really hot reporter women to kind of get these. But the fact that this dude is interested in a woman is that's breaking news.
And divulged about his job to our undercover journalist.
Remind me where you work.
Right now, I'm working at MSNBC.
What do you do? What's your title?
Writer, producer. So I a live news show on the weekends.
Okay, what is it called?
Amen. Yeah,
I've heard of that.
Basil Hamden, producer at MSNBC, states that MSNBC is helping the Kamala Harris campaign, stating they are, quote, amplifying her message. Basil also reveals that, quote, what her message of the day is their MSNBC's message of the day.
Wow. Again, it's not that this is breaking news. You're not breaking any news to somebody like me or most of the people that are in the chat, but to have it confirmed, to have it directly confirmed from someone involved just proves people like me right. Like, I am not here to tell you anything other than what I believe. That's it. Case in point, if there's anybody who are still unsure, okay, let me just switch gears here for just a minute and show you this right here. You go over to my Twitter account. This was today. So this guy, this AKA guy, I can't stand this account, okay? He always tweets out some bullshit. The alleged Diddy list, only including those in the U.S. political, civil rights, non-celebs. They're all Democrats. They're all Democrats. I quote tweeted, I said, I don't believe this guy. This account posts a bunch of BS. Also hides replies like a bitch. Everyone on this list is a garbage person, but the account posting it has no credibility whatsoever. I then said, also, the fact that Tim Walz's name is on this list makes me question it even more. If he wasn't the VP nominee, his name would not be on there. Laughable. The fact that Tim Walz's name is on there is absolutely ridiculous, okay? The fact that you think Tim Walz's awkward, goofy ass was going to be at a Diddy party is laughable. The only reason Tim Walz's name is on there is because he's the VP nominee and you're trying to get engagement. So just because it goes against or it goes in line with what I believe doesn't mean that I'm going to run with it. It's just that's not how I work. So I just wanted to qualify that. I'll call somebody out on BS, regardless as to, and that account's always posting pro-Trump stuff. But most of the stuff that account posts is 100% bullshit. It's just engagement farming is all it is.
So do you feel like MSNBC is doing enough to help the Harris campaign?
I mean, they're doing all they can.
Which is why. What have they done to help the Harris campaign?
Amplify her message. What her message of the day is their message of the day.
Does anyone really trust the healthcare system? Well, thankfully, there still are some good guys left.
We're going to let him get his ad read because you guys know how we roll here. James O'Keefe getting his ad read in. So, hang on. Didn't mean to pause.
Proud to introduce the ultimate first
why will it not let me just turn
emergency
that down?
kit, meticulously created to ensure your access to life-saving prescription medications, personal protective equipment, and other essentials by empowering you to take control of your health journey. Now you and your loved ones will be prepared for the next shortage or whatever they try to pull. My team and I have our kits with us in the field at all times. Don't get caught without the medications you need. The Wellness Company's First Aid Medical Emergency Kit can make all the difference. Order your medical emergency kit now and save 15% by using code OMG. That's twc.health/OMG. Go to twc.health/OMG. Again, that's TWC.
Respect the grift. Respect the grift is what I was saying for the people that can't hear me. But anytime I'm reacting to somebody's video, I always let their ad reads play because it's only the right thing to do. I'm grifting off of their content. I'm reacting to their content. I'm making it transformative, but I also think that they should be able to get their ad reads in. And if you're somebody that reacts to another, video and you skip their ad read, you're a douchebag. It's that simple.
twc.health/OMG. Our OMG American Swiper questioned Basil Hamden about MSNBC's close relationship to the Democratic Party. Hamden revealed that MSNBC is the Democratic Party's mouthpiece and is doing anything to get Kamala elected. Hamden says this news network is indistinguishable from the Democratic Party.
What you were saying earlier, that the MSNBC aligns too closely with the Democratic Party line.
Yeah, so they're often saying the same exact things. The type of people who work in Democratic politics and in the campaign are a lot of the same type of people that would appear on air on MSNBC. It hammers home the point that I'm making, that this news network is indistinguishable from the party.
Are they just the Democratic Party's mouthpiece?
Exactly.
MSNBC is the Democratic Party's mouthpiece.
Yes.
What? This chick must be very hot to get a gay man like this to just open up to her. Like he's just saying it, man. He's just saying it. That's amazing. Typical male feminist, man. Typical male feminist.
Yes.
So is MSNBC just like doing whatever it takes to get Kamala elected?
Yes. Yes.
Even if there are like clear contradictions that would potentially alienate some of the viewers?
Yes, but unfortunately,
that's bad journalism, right?
It is, but unfortunately, they've made their viewers dumber over the years. Fortunately, they're not brainwashing people with racist propaganda like Fox, but particularly post-Trump, from Trump on, they've really narrowed their audience's mind to the point where even when guests go on their show to criticize Democrats, people get mad at the guests.
Yeah, this is somebody just said it in the chat too. This is equivalent of like, this is your real life MCU fan right here. Like it would be like if MCU fan was talking to Krista. Like this is how bad this is. This guy is completely like lost, and this chick has got him hooked big time.
Begs the question, why isn't MSNBC's motto, the network indistinguishable from the Democratic Party? Per Basil Hamden, MSNBC is nothing more than a network that is solely based on helping the Democratic candidate, Kamala Harris. Just this week, MSNBC panelist Eddie Glaude stated Kamala Harris has to win. And if she doesn't, our young children in America will have the threat of being bombed at school because of Donald Trump.
We got to come out and try to figure out how to turn out in large historic numbers, because we got to keep this troglodyte out of office. Because if he comes in, Our babies are going to be in danger because remember, those young children are going to grow up with the memory of having to not go to school for the threat of bombs. When she needs to bust him in his mouth. I'm saying it like that because he's dangerous. He's dangerous to particular people.
These are very...
What? This is what I'm saying, man. I like this new narrative of like, let's get people that are on the fence here to start watching CobraCast because every single thing matters. These people are absolutely unhinged beyond belief. They're unhinged. All we want is for Donald Trump to get back in office. We want the government to be, we want Elon Musk under Donald Trump's administration to get in there and cut all of the fat from the government, all of the unnecessary spending from the government. We want to stop sending billions of dollars to countries that don't need it. We want to stop involving our military in unnecessary wars. We want to build a wall, and we want to get illegal immigration under control. That's it.
Peculiar people that are at MSNBC. Basil Hamden, producer at MSNBC, dives even further into how MSNBC hosts and guests are so in sync, they will finish each other's sentences.
Do you feel like MSNBC doesn't necessarily tell the truth?
I think they do from their perspective. Yeah, they do.
But from like an objective standpoint,
it's very partisan Democrat. Their problem, and I think they would have a bigger audience. It would be if they were less tied to the Democratic Party itself. They should be progressive. They should tell the truth from a progressive perspective, but they shouldn't be tied to a political party.
how are they currently tied to the Democratic Party?
They just are way too cozy with Democratic politicians.
How? I can't tell.
If you watch an interview with a Democratic politician, they just finish each other's sentences. The anchor and the politician are just in total agreement about everything.
While investigating subjects, our OMG journalists always find that the subjects we investigate like to criticize or demean the very people they work for or entertain. Basil Hamden is no exception. Basil calls MSNBC viewers brainwashed and states that MSNBC made their viewers dumber over the years. Doesn't sound like they believe in their product.
They've made their viewers dumber over the years.
This is amazing, dude. Like, this is absolutely incredible. OMG is doing fantastic work. I met James O'Keefe. They actually saw, I did a reaction to one of their Disney tapes videos. It got like several 100,000 views over on the Geeks and Gamers channel. And they saw it. They actually saw it when I met James O'Keefe at the RNC. One of his assistants there, they're like, oh yeah, we saw that video. And they thanked me for reacting to it. So that was kind of cool. I did not expect them to know, who I was, but they didn't know me specifically, but they knew who Geeks and Gamers was. Which is super freaking cool, man. And I really, really loved seeing that. Let's see. We've got John Ambler for a 50 says, just want to say that I've been a lurker of sorts and watched your videos here and there. I think once the Trump first attempt is when I started watching a lot more. Gay jokes aside, thanks for all you do, and I enjoy your streams. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And you guys are great. We have the best chat in the world, and I am humbled to be in the position that I'm in. I was just looking at this. So like, let's see where we're at. So yesterday, or actually 2 days ago, you guys made me the #1 super chatted channel in the United States of America. #1 in the entire country. #7 in the world. That is unbelievable. And then yesterday, Barry Cunningham whooped my ass. But we were 5th, baby. We were 5th. So let's go. So 5th, first, and then 5th. And again, that's a testament to all of you guys. Barry Cunningham's doing awesome work over there. So I don't know Barry, but I know he's doing awesome work over there. He's doing really good stuff. And Aaron James with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Aaron James with 5 gifted memberships. Black Guard for 20 says, honest question, can you not like a person just because just to not like a person anymore without being about some immutable characteristic that the person has? Can't it just be that they shit on your personal opinion? Well, I mean, for me, the way I look at it is there's different levels of things. Like, for instance, I've talked about there's a lot of people I can just overlook their bullshit because it is what it is, because I feel that it's genuine. But other people, when I feel that they're disingenuous, it's a case-by-case situation. You know what I mean? And so for me, there's people that I flat out do not agree with on anything, but I don't dislike them at their core because at least I know that they do believe that. Then there's somebody like the Act Man, who I just think he's just disingenuous as fuck. I know we shared, like, he was nice to me in private messages or whatever, but it's like, I don't think that he's genuine. He just comes off as a very disingenuous person. And there's a lot of people like that on the YouTube side that I just think are completely like opportunistic people. So it's just a case-by-case situation for me anyway. You know what I mean? But thank you, Blackguard. I appreciate it.
Viewers get mad at the guests or the hosts if the hosts were to criticize Democrats.
Because they're so brainwashed
Yes.
into thinking that the Democratic Party can do no wrong.
Not that they can't do any wrong. It's maybe they can do wrong. I just don't want to hear about it. Don't say it out loud, because if you say it out loud, it helps Trump. I think brainwashing and dumbing down,
it's bad.
Aggressive.
I get it.
Helps Trump.
Well, here we go. The market has plunged again. The writing is on the wall. It's time.
More ad reads. Respect the grift. And again, John Ambler, I appreciate it, man. The fact that I want to talk about this real quick, going back to this one though, because the fact that you were kind of a lurker, and then the Trump attempt, which that was one of the biggest streams we've ever had here on this channel. And that was crazy because you remember I was traveling to the RNC when the first Trump assassination attempt happened. I was traveling. I was on the road. I was on the interstate. And I called Krista. And I was like, I need you to go live on StreamYards on my channel right now. And I need you to do that right now because Trump just got shot at. And I'm not sure what's going on yet, but we got to go live. Gary had just texted me. I think Ryan joined that stream and some other people. And yeah, that was a crazy, crazy day. And, and I know there was a lot of people that found us through that. And just thank goodness President Trump was okay, because that's the most important thing. But what a wild, wild day that was. But thank you, John. I appreciate it, man. I'm glad you're here. Glad you're enjoying the content. Glad everybody's enjoying the content. Let's see. Troy News for 10 says, one of the common failings among honorable people is a failure to appreciate how thoroughly dishonorable some people can be and how dangerous it is to trust them. Thomas Sowell. That's true, man. That is a very accurate statement. And it's a statement that I've had to learn just like anyone else the hard way. You with me on the YouTube side of things, I used to have this idea of like, let me just collab with all of these different people, and everybody's just a regular person, and we're all YouTubers, and we all understand the game, and the game is that we're all regular people, and we're not trying to step on each other's toes, and the platform is big enough for all of us to succeed. I learned real quick that that's just not the reality of the situation. The reality of the situation is there's a lot of people that get really jealous because you might get more views than them, or you might get more subscribers than them, or you might get more super chats than them, and they get really fucking butthurt over that. And I've never really understood that mentality. To me, it's a very weak-minded mentality, but I've had to learn the hard way to not get connected with certain people, because I don't like to just tell people. I don't like to prejudge people like in real life, or even like on the internet side if there's a collaboration attempt. But unfortunately, I've just had to. I've had to prejudge a lot of people because of seeing how slimy people have been. And that's just the reality of the situation. You got to learn the hard way a lot of times in life. Pixel Shark says WikiLeaks and Assange got canceled in 2016 because they gave away the game. CNN let people make up their own questions. What do you want Jake Tapper to ask you tonight? Was a thing. 100%. Eric says Tim wasn't at the Diddy party because there was no horses. Good old Tim Walls. Tim Walls. Mitchell Fields says, Jeremy, you don't understand. Hate campaign. People are feeling the hate and pain from watching her on camera. Okay, that's good. That's good. Let's see. Red Walker says, Ronald Reagan, the 9 most terrifying words in the English language are I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Today, it's the government and the media. MAGA 2024. Well said. Love Dog says, Jeremy, you rank high for super chats because you acknowledge all of them. Unlike others, Tim Pool. We appreciate you for that. And thank you. I thank you. Sometimes it takes a little while to get through all of them. I still got about 30 left and there'll be more probably coming through the day, but I've always said like the goal is to read every super chat and acknowledge every super chat. I know a lot of bigger streamers don't do that, but I'm that's just not how that's not how I'm going to operate. Crimson Cyborg says sleeper vote is Native Americans. I live in New Mexico and lots of natives love Trump and we can flip this state. Hey, I like your thinking. Let's see if we can do that. Blackguard with 10 get to memberships. Thank you, Blackguard. All right, let's let James O'Keefe grift a little bit.
Of your wealth. Don't let them win. Call my friends at Bishop Gold Group right now. They'll help you shield your assets with gold and silver, the ultimate fortress against this financial tyranny.
Thank you.
Act now before it's too late. Protect your future. Protect your freedom.
Thank you,
protect
Aaron.
your retirement. I'll put the link and phone number in my bio so you can get a hold of them anytime. While at this meeting with our OMG American swiper, Basil Hamden, MSNBC producer, did not want other people to hear the conversation he was having with our investigative reporter, saying we shouldn't speak too loudly about the issue. What is he ashamed of?
We shouldn't speak too loudly about that issue.
Little did he know who he was talking to. As always, if you're on the inside of the mainstream media, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, CNN, we know you like us. We know you're fans of us. You just can't say it publicly. Well, guess what? It's time to step up. It's time to stand up. It's time to be brave. If you're sick of the biased news coverage, if you are tired of participating in a system you don't believe in, we urge you to contact us, tips@o'keefemediagroup.com. That's tips@o'keefemediagroup.com. We'll have an OMG journalist reach out to you. You can also DM us. Our DMs are open. We actually return our DMs. We call people back. We have a room of people right now just on the phone with you. Thank you. Stay tuned. Check out lineinthe.sandmovie.com premiering next week.
Good stuff right there, man. So James O'Keefe doing great work. That was awesome to see. And looks like there's going to be more. So we will certainly be checking that out. That's awesome, though, man. Great work from them. Looks like Melania Trump is doing an interview with Sean Hannity right now. So I think we're going to check that out here in just a few minutes. Let me catch up on some super chats really quickly. Jake Stanley says, how dare you stream over Jay? Who's Jay? Who's Jay? Shout out to Drunk 3PO. Grand Potato says, did you see that Candace Owens have found evidence that Kamala isn't black and that the man they say is her father might be her older brother? I do have that pulled up, and we're actually going to talk about that. So that is something on the list tonight of things to talk about. I told you, it's a busy night. It's a busy, busy night. Let's see here. Modalicious says, okay, as an Okie, I can say Garth Brooks smokes meat cigars. Let's see. Socrates Magoat says, this super chat is for Steph in honor of Latina Equal Pay Day. Make sure she gets herself something nice. Also, you're gay. Shout out to My Nerdy Home. Let's see here. Mike says, make Arizona great again. Trump Lake 2024. February 14th says, looking straight today, Jeremy. Trump losing in 2020 was a blessing in disguise. I agree. Zinni Biscuit says, I think Youngkin won at 52%. I want my state to go red, but the swamp in northern VA is going to sink us. If y'all do anything, pray for our country. We got you. We got you. Jake Stanley says, I know I don't need to say this, but don't get lazy. I agree completely. Modelicious, Garth Brooks eats corn on the cob with his meat curtains sideways. I'm sure he's in the street, into street cone butt stuff, like the fetishes banned in Germany. McUtter says, polls are like these udders full of hot air. Old Man Grimm says, Scott Presler has been registering new Republican voters like a madman. That's what's happened in PA. Flipped multiple counties. He's been crushing it, man. He has been absolutely crushing it. Eric K says, yesterday FEMA announced they are building a $23 million illegal housing project in Southern California. Mike Noss says, I know objectively there are people who will vote for her for entirely stupid reasons, but the amount of people is what amazes me. Agreed. Modalicious, wrong. Trump is Nick Fury. Vance is Captain America. Elon is Tony Stark. Jake Stanley says, new folks, trust me, Jeremy is a homosexual. Talking to the new peeps. Fantastic Knox says, why do these people who get exposed by O'Keefe are always the typical fruity types? Yeah, I know, man. It really is amazing how he has a knack for this. Blackguard for 20 says, my favorite thing about O'Keefe Media Group has to be that James got forcibly ejected from his former company, which he founded, and he's thriving while the former company is dead, and they did it to themselves, the idiots. I love seeing it, man. That's my big thing right now is like, I don't really like, that's my issue with Vince McMahon right now and how he's being treated. Like, I don't know if Vince is guilty of what he's being accused of or not. I have no idea. But what I do know is that Vince McMahon is the sole reason that the WWE is a global billion-dollar industry. And he's the single reason that all of these people have millions of dollars and great jobs and all of these deals. And the company is only there because of Vince. That's it. Like, Vince McMahon is the reason that company exists to this day. Yet they have tried to erase him from their existence, which, to be fair, it is a little bit of karma because Vince has done that to other people in the past too. I'm not saying Vince is a good guy. Vince is not a good guy. Vince is a terrible person in all reality. That's never been my debate on like Vince, because Vince is a horrible human being, but he's a fucking genius. And he's the genius that they all stood by. And they had no problem working for him while he was making them millions of dollars. It's much like a Harvey Weinstein situation. They all stood by Harvey until they couldn't stand by Harvey anymore because it got exposed. They all stood by Vince until suddenly Vince is being exposed as the person that we all kind of knew he was. And then they're all suddenly like, I had no idea Vince McMahon was like this. I call 100% bullshit on that. 100% BS on that. So that's my issue with it. You know, you can appreciate what the man did and still call him out for what he is. You can 100% do that. Grant Potato says, did you miss my $5 super chat? I think I got it. Pretty sure I got it. That was earlier, but I'm pretty sure I got it. Eric K says, Grant Potato, did you miss this? He's probably saying I did. I think I got your $5 one. Bender Alyssa 199 events says, any update on the IDOT t-shirts 199? From what I've heard, nothing's going to be interrupted from what I've heard. But it wasn't a concrete answer. It was like, don't think it's going to be an issue. We'll follow up with you. But I have heard it shouldn't be an issue. John Ambler says, Wadio Jeremy, acceptance is the first step. 8 o'clock says, I suspect all of these beta men at the top of the Democratic media machine are going to have designated girlfriends and no more dates till the election. Nick says, he is not gay. He has a relationship with women and sex with men. Troy News says, I have a normie friend who stopped watching CNN because he said they were biased. He now says MSNBC is his favorite to stay informed. Oof. That's not good. You need to have him tune into CobraCast. Mike says, any plans to attend America Fest 2024? Well, damn well better be under President-elect Trump. Would be cool to see you there. I'm not going to make any plans for anything until we get Trump back in office. Okay. That's it. So Papa Chula says, Chalupa says, what do you call an intelligent Democrat? A former Democrat. That's pretty good. Bender Alyssa 199 events says, sounds good, mate. I'm just hoping to get them before November, at least ideally before October 27th. Also, does Krista have a good singing voice? I mean, proper singing rather than DNC CobraCast. I'm not sure if she's interested in any proper stuff. I'm not sure about that. But she likes to playfully sing, here on CobraCast and on some of our gaming streams. Let's see here. Mr. Bentham says, for real, make sure to Pokemon go to the polls. Darth Bain says, Diddy invited Tim Walz to the party because he brought his class there as a field trip. Oof. Let's talk about this really quick. I personally have not watched this video from Candace Owens, okay? Have not watched it, so we're watching it for the first time ever together. I haven't seen this. So here we go.
Let's get to me speaking to her uncle, because that actually happened like I promised you yesterday. I said I had a phone call. I was trying to wait for it to happen yesterday. Well, it happened last night. Part one of our phone call happened last night. We briefly spoke on the phone, I would say for about 10 minutes. And I first want to say just how much I liked this guy. And I could just also sense that he was being incredibly honest and forthright. And he was speaking to me. And it was actually like very, I guess I would say just beautiful in a way, because he cared about this. He wanted to reach out because he cares so much about Vioris, and he doesn't want whatever is going on with Kamala to make people have this perception of Vioris. And I told him right away that it was never my intention for him to get inundated. So I want to be clear. My understanding is that it's the press calling, but I want to make sure that there are no Candace Owens viewers that are going out there calling any of these relatives that are still alive, because we can find information online, but we definitely should not be harassing her relatives who have nothing to do with her running, and in many cases don't even agree with her politics. Like this person that I spoke to is a Candace Owens fan, conservative, as many Caribbeans are conservative, because on the islands that it's just not a lot of wokeness. I'll leave it at that. I asked him directly if he knew the Miss Iris that he is referring to in this book, in the Miss Iris that Donald J. Harris is referring to in his piece, rather, who he says is Iris Nay Finnegan. Again, very strange, because Iris should have never been Nay Finnegan. Finnegan was her married name. And he said, I can't answer that. I don't know that name. I want to be very clear. He has a relationship with Donald. He is close with Donald. They grew up together. He considers Donald his full brother. He has no idea who Miss Iris Finnegan is. This is Donald's brother that we're talking about. So I said, okay, that's of course of some interest to me. I asked him why it is that he's even then mentioning this Miss Iris. And he told me that he wanted to clarify something which was of most importance to me. He wanted me to know
Donald J. Harris, yes.
that before Vioris and Oscar Harris got married, Oscar Harris already had 3 children, okay? One of them being Donald. Now, to be clear, he is younger than Donald, a lot younger than Donald, so he wouldn't know much about if there was some family secret. He would not be aware of it, but to the best of his knowledge, like this is what he was told, that they had 3 children before Vioris and Oscar got married. And I asked him, quite frankly, if he knew or heard of Beryl. He told me he does not know Beryl. Instant red flag to me. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, how do you not know if you have a half sibling that you are close to and have been close to your whole life? How do you not know who their mom is? He said, I don't know who his mother is. You don't know who Donald Harris's mom is. The woman who started this entire thing, Beryl Finnegan, like the person who just flagged me as weird. Something is not right here. We now know that Donald Harris's brother does not know him. Okay. Like I said, he said that Oscar Harris had 3 children before he married Vioris. He mentioned that Donald was. Let's get
this
to
is amazing. So right here. Breaking. Candace Owens just revealed that she spoke to Kamala Harris's Caribbean uncle, and he told her that he's a conservative and also that he has no idea who the woman Kamala Harris claims as her paternal grandmother is. This is a national bombshell. I asked him directly if he knew who Mr. Iris that Donald Harris, Kamala's father, is referring to in this piece, and he said, I can't answer that. I don't know the name. Candace and her team have unearthed one of the most damaging scandals in recent political history. There are way too many holes in Kamala Harris's story. Whoo! This is the Democrats doing right here, man. This is all you're doing right here, Democrats. You asked for this. You tried to bring this person in that no one likes, and look at the shit show that you have put yourself in now. And this is why MSNBC is running cover. This is exactly why, because they're getting absolutely desperate at this point in time. Holy crap. An absolute shit show beyond belief. Now I got this one right here. Let me see if there was one more I wanted to show you guys really quick. Let me go to this. Let me go to my bookmarks. Way too many bookmarks. Thank God for bookmarks on Twitter, man. I don't know what I would do without bookmarks on Twitter. Is this it? Yes, right here. Check this out. Check this out. It's all falling apart for the Biden-Harris campaign.
Hey, everyone. Congressman Corey Mills, Florida 7th District, wanted to give you the day 3 wrap-up. Today, we were able to get to a lot of the outer areas. As a Florida man, one of the places that we went to recently, it was called Pensacola, North Carolina. Very remote area.
Not here.
Chief there, Mr. Harrison. He unfortunately reported that they had 4 fatalities, 2 more that is unaccounted for that washed down the river. And he believes that they're going to be recovering bodies for the next couple months due to the amount of landslide that was.
Just wait till you hear. Just wait till you hear more. Hopefully you can hear it. It's a little low, but it does have subtitles on it.
We're able to get to Burnsville, do a couple health and welfare checks, get into Asheville, do more of our actual supply distribution. Proud to say that at this point, over the last 3 days, that we have transported almost 13,000 pounds of food. So we brought in about 5 tons of food, and we've actually transferred probably another 1,500 out of the Asheville distribution center into other areas that was more impacted. So unfortunately, one of the things that occurred today that slowed down our progress is that President Biden decided to go ahead and do a fly-in today, but then he also put a TFR, 30-mile TFR around the actual impacted area, which means...
I know it's hard to hear, but make sure you're reading what he's saying. Make sure you're reading the subtitles.
More impacted. So unfortunately, one of the things that occurred today that slowed down our progress is that President Biden decided to go ahead and do a fly-in today, but then he also put a TFR, 30-mile TFR around the actual impacted area, which means that no helicopters and no planes have any access or any capability to fly. So for 4 hours, they were grounded. Search and rescue was grounded. Distribution of food and supplies was grounded. And so this, in my opinion, was irresponsible. If FEMA is going to not show up and the federal government's going to delay up to a week to be here, at least don't stop the operations by the civilians and organizations like Mercury One, like Universal Air, like Sentinel Foundation, and others who are Samaritan's Purse, who are trying to do the right things in lieu of federal government assistance. So I'll be back in here tomorrow. We've got a couple more places that we need to seek out. We need to bring more meds for insulin drops, as well as for a tremendous amount of other meds that our PJs got the list for that we're going to try and get to Pensacola, the remote areas, and also another area on the backside of the mountain that had a landslide. So we'll keep you updated and we'll let you know what's going on. Thanks so much. Keep North Carolina in your prayers. God bless you.
Absolutely, disgusting. Fuck Joe Biden. Absolutely. They just don't care, man. They don't care. It's so unbelievable how much they hate the American people. They despise the American people. But hey, I got good news for you, everybody. We got good news for you, everybody. Bruce Springsteen has some thoughts. You ready to hear what Bruce Springsteen has to say?
Friends, fans, and the press have asked me who I'm supporting in this most important of elections. And with full knowledge that my opinions no more or less important than those of any of my fellow citizens, here's my answer. I'm supporting Kamala Harris for president and Tim Walz for vice president.
This has to get memed. This has to get memed. This has to get memed.
And opposing Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. Here's why. We are shortly coming upon one of the most consequential elections in our nation's history. Perhaps not since the Civil War has this great country felt as politically, spiritually, and emotionally divided as it does then at this moment. It doesn't have to be this way.
I love the whole setting of him being at a diner to show that he's just a regular guy. I'm just a regular guy. I'm just a regular guy just hanging out at the diner. I'm just a good old boy. Fuck off, Bruce Springsteen.
The common values, the shared stories that make us a great and united nation are waiting to be rediscovered and retold once again. Now that will take time, hard work, intelligence, faith, and women and men with the national good guiding their hearts.
I know it's frustrating to watch, but it's necessary to hear these nut job leftists to understand that they are mobilizing. They are mobilizing.
America is the most powerful nation on earth, not just because of her overwhelming military strength or economic power, but because of what she stands for, what she means, what she believes in: freedom, social justice, equal opportunity, the right to be and love who you want.
Bro, these people are so stupid. They're so out of their minds. This man does not know who he's talking about. He has no idea who Kamala Harris is. He doesn't know. There is no critical thinking at all. Whoever the Democratic nominee was going to get this same exact message. This same exact words that he is saying about Kamala were reserved for Joe Biden, or they would have been reserved for whoever else. It doesn't matter who the nominee is. These same words were going to be applied to that person.
These are the things that make America great. Donald Trump is the most dangerous candidate for president in my lifetime.
Yeah! Listen, Bruce, we were already voting for the guy. You don't have to convince us. You don't have to convince us. Maybe Bruce is just a little jealous because Donald Trump is such a young, vibrant man.
I just feel like a young man. I'm so young. I can't believe it. I'm the youngest person. I am a young, vibrant man. I look at Joe. I don't know about him. I don't know. Macho man, yeah.
His disdain for the sanctity of our Constitution, the sanctity of democracy, the sanctity of the rule of law, and the sanctity of the peaceful transfer of power should disqualify him from the office of president ever again. He doesn't understand the meaning of this country, its history, or what it means to be deeply American. On the other hand, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are committed to a vision of this country that respects and includes everyone, regardless of class, religion, race, your political point of view, or sexual identity. And they want to grow our economy in a way that benefits all, not just a few like me on top. That's the vision of America I've been consistently writing about for 55 years. Now, everybody sees things different, and I respect your choices.
No, the fuck you don't. No, you don't. You literally hate anybody that votes for Donald Trump. You despise anybody that votes for Donald Trump. You have made that very clear. You've made it very crystal clear that you hate anyone that disagrees with you.
Fellow citizen. But like you, I've only got one vote, and it's one of the most precious possessions that I have. That's why, come November 5th, I'll be casting my vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. Thanks for listening.
What an absolute clown. Listen, it's necessary to see this stuff, unfortunately. So we had to cover that. Sadly, that's where we are, where these leftist lunatics are doing all they can to mobilize. Let's see here. There's another one I wanted to show you guys if I could find it. I think this was where was it at? Now, right here, somebody had brought up that the Scott Presler was going through something in Pennsylvania. And It was something I haven't looked fully into it, but I got a super chat that there was something going on with Scott Presler in Pennsylvania, and they were like, why is Laura Trump not getting involved? So I saw this tweet, and Laura Trump is involved. Wow, they aren't trying to hide their blatant interference. Appreciate you flagging Scott Presler. GOP legal is on it and formally requesting the system maintenance is moved to a different time. So I don't know if specifically that is what you were talking about, but it did show. I saw this tweet from Laura Trump where she did respond to it, and she's getting involved, and GOP legal is getting involved. So he's not fighting on his own. So I wanted to point that out, but I haven't looked too far into seeing what exactly was going on. But I have full confidence that, you know, if he's needing any help, that Laura Trump's going to get involved. People are talking about, a few people have mentioned in the chat about the Garth Brooks situation. I already talked about that a little bit earlier, but I have no problem recapping that really quickly. And I'll just kind of repeat what I said on Twitter because I saw this from Breaking 911. Breaking: Garth Brooks accused of sexual assault and battery in lawsuit from hair and makeup artist who worked for him. And I just responded with that. You know, Garth Brooks will sell Bud Light, doubles down on decision to have beer at bar. I love diversity. There you go. Well, Garth Brooks, you can have that leftist nonsense right there. That's what you get. You didn't have time to go to President Trump's inauguration, but you had no problem going to Joe Biden's and Barack Obama's, did you? So you get what you deserve. So I don't necessarily think that Garth is, I mean, I'm not going to automatically think anybody's guilty of anything, regardless of the situation, until there's actually some evidence. But I certainly don't feel sorry for people that have bent the knee to the leftist propaganda in the Democratic way and then seeing them get eaten up by it. I mean, this is the same group of people that said, believe all women. Hey, Garth, are we supposed to believe all women? Are we supposed to believe all women now, Garth? I mean, that's what the Democrats told us to believe. That's the same people that you're kissing up to. And now do we believe all women? I bet you don't think that we should believe all women now. But I bet when it was Kavanaugh getting caught up in some stuff, you had that believe all women bullshit narrative going. There's a word I want to call Garth Brooks right now, but I can't. But I think we all know what word I'd like to say. Bubba Dank for 20 says there are way too many, in-holes in Kamala. What? Not even going to go there. Look at that shirt, though. Stone Cold Steve Austin, baby. Let's go. Dom H with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you. Let's see. We got Bird Up for 20 says Bruce Springsteen is fake. He's a millionaire who makes his money pretending to be a blue-collar working man voice. It may have been genuine in the 70s, but he's long past being able to relate to working people. Agreed 100%. Agreed 100%. Yashawn Gaming says, hey, man, love your work. But did you see the Candace Owens video a few weeks ago about Kamala's fake family, fake father, and grandma? Scary. Who is she for real? Is Kamala even her real name? Yeah, that's kind of what we just touched on just a minute ago. Thank you for the super chat. We just talked about that. I'm going to have to look a little deeper into that story with Kamala Harris from Candace Owens. I can't say I've ever been like the biggest fan of Candace Owens, like historically, but she's clearly doing good work right now. And she has been doing good work for sure. Blackguard says, what's crazy to me is that Kamala is the candidate for the election, but is not the actual current president. As far as I know, Biden is still the president, and that's wild to me. Yeah, I mean, the problem is Biden doesn't know he's president. Biden doesn't know he's the president, which is very scary. Hey, Mr. President, can you make a decision on what? What type of ice cream? Like, no. Garth Brooks is a gamer word. What's up, Shellback? Lawless Enterprises, Hail 199, Beardo's background sucks. Vic Whiplash says, I toured with this bozo for a couple of years. Vic Whiplash, hold the line 199. How you doing, brother? Good to see you here, man. Mike says, did I come across a disturbing video in which a trucker claimed other truckers found their tires slashed when delivering supplies to affected areas? Did you? I'm interested. Bubba Dank says, Bruce Springsteen knows who Kamala is. Check his knees for redness. CD Stein says, Jeremy, have you seen Zachary Levi's latest tweet? I think he's going full MAGA at this point. Really? Okay. Let's look at that. I don't want to use that one. Let's see. Zachary Levi. All right, let's see. All right, here we go. Blackguard with 10 more gifted memberships. Let's freaking go. Thank you, Blackguard. Look at all those gifties flying. Okay, so far this year, the United States has given all this money to these foreign countries. This is not okay. This is beyond not okay. This is heinous. And our current administration is responsible. Hey, he's calling out. Let me make that. Yeah, so you guys can see that a little better. I think I can. There we go. Okay, so right here. He's calling out the actual administration. Where's the care for the American people? We should all be outraged. What happens when disaster strikes your home? Zachary Levi is badass. I'm not even the biggest fan. Like, I mean, have I even seen like a lot of movies with him in it? I have no idea. I didn't watch Shazam. I didn't watch either Shazam movie. I was not interested. But I'm happy that he's calling the bullshit out. He's going to suffer greatly. Hollywood is not going to hire him for anything at this point. So there you go. Chuck, yeah, I didn't watch Chuck. Johnny says, I agree with Gary. This guy sucks. Talking about me? Gary? Or me? I mean, Gary does suck. I mean, he's not a good YouTuber at all. I mean, you know, he got like 1 million subscribers. Ooh, big deal, Gary. Let's see here. Eric K says, I think Bruce might have been at the island. Bruce Springsteen. Beardo Smelly. Good Lord. The FEMA low on money issue reminds me of Frank Underwood allegedly using FEMA in House of Cards for AmWorks. Crazy how the show is now reality. Listen, you can think whatever you want about Kevin Spacey, but House of Cards is basically a documentary at this point in time. Like the first 3 and 4 seasons, I think, was it season 6 is what was the season 6 the last season of House of Cards? If season 6 was the last season, the first 5 seasons of House of Cards. It's absolutely fantastic. And it is such an amazing insight into the world of politics. And it shows you how dirty the world of politics is. Yeah, season 6 was the last one. Okay. Yeah, that is unwatchable. If you have never seen House of Cards, watch it, but understand that it ends on 5. Like, don't watch 6. Truly. Season 6 of House of Cards is Game of Thrones season 8 level bad. It really is awful. It is absolutely the worst thing ever made. But the first 5 seasons are absolutely unbelievable. Kevin Spacey and what's her name? The actress's name that played Claire. I can't remember her name. And she was in Forrest Gump. She was Jenny in Forrest Gump. Somebody will say her name here in just a minute. She is amazing. Somebody's in Robin Wright. There it is. Robin Wright and Kevin Spacey are unbelievable. But you find out in season 6 that without Kevin Spacey, he literally carried the show. It could not move forward without him. But it was, I mean, I would highly recommend, if you have not seen House of Cards, to watch it. And especially right now with all the political stuff going on, this is the world that Donald Trump basically walked into and took over. He steamrolled this entire world of corrupt, just horrible people on both sides, whether it's the Republicans, whether it's the Democrats. Donald Trump walked in there and he steamrolled all of them. He defeated the Clintons. He defeated the Obamas. He defeated the Bushes. He defeated the Democrats. He defeated the Republicans. He defeated the mainstream media. He defeated Hollywood, and he defeated big tech. He did all of that in 2016. And they got pissed big time. And you see the response to this. This is why Trump is a one-of-a-kind person. Because we saw what happened in 2020. And essentially that was them saying, this is your warning, buddy. get the fuck out of our game. You've already messed it up enough. And what did he do? He says, I'm not going anywhere. So what did they do? They indicted him. They indicted him 4 times. They raided his house. The FBI raided a former president of the United States house. They arrested him. They indicted him. None of that worked. So they shot at him. That didn't work. So they shot at him again. Didn't work. This man is unstoppable. This man is unstoppable. And now here we are, a little over 30 days away. What are they going to do in the next 30 days? I don't know, but I don't expect it to be pretty. But that's the world of politics, man. It is a scary, scary situation that we're dealing with right now. Thank you, Blackguard, for those 10 gifted memberships. Rudy with 10 gifted memberships. Woof. Getting some memberships flying here tonight. Thank you guys so much. We've got Jesse MacArthur with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you guys so much. Ministry of Wrong Things is not trying to open a can of worms. I'm not suggesting that there's any proof, evidence of wrongdoing, but the timing of the Zachary Levi coming out as MAGA right when the Diddy story is breaking is sus to me. Just saying. I mean, there's no wrong. There's nothing wrong with asking questions like that. I would look at. I hate to say it. I don't think that that's really a problem. I'm going to show you what I think is a problem, though. Let me see if I can find it. I hate to even bring this up because I am a massive fan. But this was weird. This was a weird timing on this one. I got to find it. I don't think I bookmarked it the other day. Right here. This is what, okay. I got to preface what I'm going to say. First of all, we got Jason Cole with 5 gifted memberships. Casey DeJesus with 5 gifted memberships. That's 10 more. Let's freaking go. It's kind of magic. Got you a gifty. I see you. There's a lot of gifties flying. Thank you guys so much. But to your point, Ministry of Wrong Thing, it pains me to bring up this question, but it's a fair question. And it's in regards to Ministry of Wrong Things super chat. Now, I got to preface this because I am a massive, massive, massive fan of the person that I'm about to talk about. Huge fan. Like, this is one of the greatest actors to ever live, and that's not debatable in any way, shape, or form. And I'm not saying that I believe anything. I'm saying that the timing of this story is very convenient. Denzel Washington once stormed out of a Sean Diddy Combs party, screamed, "You don't respect anyone." Now that comes out. It's just very, very convenient timing. I love Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington is the fucking man, but the timing of this is very, very interesting. Like, suddenly now we get this report. Why wasn't this reported 6 months ago or a year ago? Why now at the height of the Diddy stuff? And it's just a question to ask. I would have rather this just not come out because it just makes you go, why is that timing? You know what I mean? But if you ask me point blank, and again, I'm just tying it to Ministry of Wrong Things, super chat here, but the timing is suspicious. But if you look at everything we have seen from Denzel Washington over the years, Denzel Washington has shown himself to be one of the true good guys in Hollywood for everything we've seen. And he's never tried to fake that, by the way. It's never like Denzel has been like, you need to think I'm a good guy. It's never been like he's actually tried to portray himself as a good guy. He's just come off as a good guy. You know, genuinely like a family man and a good guy and things like that. And it's not like he's tried to do it. So I believe Denzel is legit. It is weird timing on this one. That's all I'm saying. So weird timing. Okay. So that just applies to you. I get being, and listen, you should be cautious for everybody in Hollywood. You should be cautious for everybody in Hollywood. Black Art says House of Cards was Hollywood politics telling on themselves because they were so into their sheer effing hubris that they could do no wrong and that they could put it in our face without consequences. That is true. That is true because It really is bad. Like what House of Cards does and the insight that it gives you into that effed up world of politics is kind of crazy. And the fact that Kevin Spacey was so celebrated back then. If you guys remember this, like Kevin Spacey was treated like royalty at the height of House of Cards. He was treated like absolute royalty. And then suddenly allegations come out and boom, all of a sudden, well, we didn't know anything. And that's the whole argument that I have, again, going back to the Vince McMahon thing. It's like, don't act like you didn't know that this guy was not a creep. Don't act like you didn't know. Because you clearly did. And you clearly just, oh, well, no big deal, right? That's the world of Hollywood. Jason Cole with those 5 gifties. Thank you. Casey with those 5 gifties. Thank you. Appreciate that. Jesse says, I prefer to use money for gifties, but I'll use my message to say the snake pit is legit. Keep being genuine is better than being palatable. Thanks, Jeremy. Hey, man. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. We appreciate your support of the snake pit and all the gifties. Smorgan says, Jeremy, so gay. He gave booty gig HIV. Yeah, you guys understand that is a troll account that everybody's responding to. There's a breaking 911 troll account that's saying that Pete Buttplug got HIV. It's not true. So it's a troll account, and a lot of people were falling for it earlier. So Max says Scott Presler's issue in PA it was that Luzerne County has a massive backlog of voting registration and are slow walking them. Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know exactly what the problem was. Let's see. Michaela says CobraCast has more pull than you think, boss man. Without your coverage this year, I don't know if I would have been voting for Trump Vance 2024. Look at that. That is awesome to hear. I appreciate that. Thank you, Michaela. Yeah, I'm never going to really fully, I don't care if I don't know, man. I just think I'm an absolute retard that just talks, which I am. But I do know that, the show means a lot to a lot of people, which blows my mind. And I'm still just blown away by the support that we have here. I'm humbled by it. Blue Snake says driving through rural PA, I counted a generous 25 Trump signs for every one Kamala yard sign. Trump 2024. Let's go. Andy Plays Game says crazy election night 2020 was 4 years ago. I was glued to Twitter and bought into the crazy stories. Another one of those nights would really suck. Yeah, it's going to be. Listen, you can expect that I'm going to be live all day long on election day. All day long. I'm going to get some people in here. We're going to have some fun. You're going to see a lot of the G&G crew rolling in here. It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great day. Lord Dread says, Big, thank you. Turnbull Tactical and Outdoor says, this is your best. This is the best your camera has ever looked. Top quality from the best streamer ever. Range day on me if you ever guys make it through Tennessee. Let's go. I am always happy to do that. We did that, a couple of years ago, and I had a blast. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Aaron James says, I shook Bush's hand at the VIP rally at my youth. I've watched thousands of times, but it still feels dirty. Yeah, I think George W. Bush is a horrible human being. I despise George W. Bush so much. Ron Sappington says, make sure your ballot boxes are active when you drop off your ballots in Washington State. Found a lot of ballots that were never counted in old boxes. There we go. Modalicious says, Garth Brooks donates money to hospitals and then sues the hospital if they don't use the money exactly how he wanted them to. Fuck Garth Brooks. Wow. Hey, it doesn't surprise me at all. Charlatan Parody Man, thank you for becoming a new member. Mike says, I did. I was just wording it. What was that worded wrong? Damn autocorrect. No, it's all good. You kind of asked it like it was a question and not a statement. So that's what confused me. Q-Tart says, eating bourbon for dinner with a side of air-fried pork belly. Finally decided to vote Trump. MAGA Mage I died. Let's freaking go. Johnny says, no, Gary thinks Bruce sucks. Oh, okay. I thought you said that I think that Gary thinks I suck, or that I think Gary does. Like, Gary's the greatest streamer of all time. I didn't say anything different, okay? Notice Jeremy's eyebrows suddenly turned darker. What are you talking about? I have eyebrows. They're just light. Why is this a thing? I have eyebrows. Stop being mean to me. Listen. Barry Cunningham whooped our ass in Super Chat, so I'm pulling out there we go. All right, I got the filter on. Barry Cunningham whooped my ass in Super Chats, so the filter is on. The Instagram thought filter is on. Okay? Gotta do what I gotta do, okay? Dragon Dan says, I'd like to send you an email about the meetup. What was your email again? I'll follow up once I send it. Jeremy@geeksandgamers.com is the best one. Jeremy@geeksandgamers. Marlena says, start at Candace's episode 70 for the Kamala info. All right, thank you. I appreciate that. RSC Illman says, 150 for Jay, 50 cents for the working man MAGA. Thank you so much. Pixel Shark says, watch Freedom Tunes about Kamala, comedy gold. Thank you. Alan Tennessee says, I am late. Sorry, I was having hamburger helper. Just kidding. Oh, you got me excited. I'm not a huge homosexual that roll tides. Hail all the IDOTs 199 for life. Thank you. Really Now for 10 says, hey man, been hopping back and forth. Have seen what Israel has done with Hezbollah and Beirut tonight. I didn't tonight. I haven't heard any updates tonight. They hit their entire leadership council that was electing their new leader. Yeah, I'm really detached from a lot of that stuff. I know there's like a lot of people. I got to turn this fucking filter off. All right, there we go. But yeah, I don't keep up with a lot of that. At the end of the day, I don't give a shit about other countries. And I don't mean that disrespectfully for people that live in other countries. Just like, I mean, if it has an impact, like I care about our legitimate allies as long as we're not being misused. But like the Democrats in office, the Democrats have decided that people in North Carolina right now are struggling and they're going to get $750 fucking dollars. Yet we're going to send billions of dollars to other countries. And I just don't, that makes no sense to me. Donald Trump gave us world peace. That's what Donald Trump gave us. World peace. Mean tweets, world peace. That's what we need. But no, I don't pay attention to a lot of that stuff over there. I do remember, like, what was it? Wasn't there that crazy explosion in Beirut a few years ago? I've talked about that once before, but that's what I always think about with Beirut. There was like some absolute, like, insane, like explosion somewhere. I think that was Beirut. All right about that? Look and see here. Beirut explosion. Yeah, there it is. Absolutely fucking insane. Like, that was terrifying, actually. Well, now they're showing like the updated stuff. So I guess it's the stuff you guys were talking about, but I'm looking for the one from like years ago. Here's one where some woman was like, in her, what is this? All right. So wedding photo shoot captures Beirut explosion. Wow. Wow. Holy shit. That was crazy. I was not really fully prepared for how loud that was going to be. Whew. Now I want to see another version of that explosion. Give me just a minute, because that the footage of that explosion was absolutely crazy, bro. From 3 years ago, is that it? Maybe. All right, this is a compilation of it right here. Apparently. 40 minutes long. I'm not going to sit through 40 minutes of this shit. All right, here we go. Bro, holy shit. That is crazy, bro. That is wild. But yeah, anytime I hear Beirut, I think about that explosion from all those years ago. Grand Potato for 10 says the problem with Denzel Washington is that he knew about what was going on and did nothing. And apparently Denzel Washington Jr. was very much a part of Diddy's world. Really? Yeah, that's a problem. If that's the case. Again, I tend to think that people like everybody in Hollywood has some type of like horrible thing going on. Every successful person in Hollywood, you can't be successful in Hollywood without something. That's why I say every day, I'm a huge fan of Christopher Nolan, but I'm just waiting every day for like something for Christopher Nolan to come out as trans or some bullshit. I'm prepared for it. I'm ready to be let down. I'm ready to be disappointed by Nolan. I'm just waiting for Christopher Nolan to be as Christine Nolan or some shit. You know what I mean? Like I'm Christine. Like who was it? The fucking the Matrix directors. The Matrix directors. Both of them. Right? Were trans. They went trans. Like what? So yeah, I'm just waiting for Christopher Nolan to be like, I'm Christine Nolan. My pronouns are she, her, or some shit. Like what? But I love the dude's movies. So, but, you know, we'll see. Same Millennial for 10 says everyone needs to check in on Crowder on election day too, because he'll have reporters on the ground with their own poll results watching for fraud. I'll be watching you both, my top MAGA channels. Thank you, Same Millennial. You're always out there putting out the good word for everybody. I appreciate it. Woodstock says, I was 100% on the Trump train until last night when Jeremy the homosexual said that he hated the Beatles. Now I'm 100% Kamala 2024. Man funds for Kamala. Listen, the Beatles suck. It's just the truth. Okay, you can like them. Beatles are garbage. DJ Fissy says, is it me or is Jeremy gayer? Piano Dean says, hey, Jeremy, if they ever decide to remake Cool Hand Luke, I say Sydney Sweeney should play Lucille. Horny car wash. Love Dog says, my yard sign says, vote for law and order, vote Republican. Love your stream, Jeremy. Thank you. Thank you. Memeing Jeremy, as always. That's what we do around here. Bryce Murphy says, you forgot to mention that the FBI had the okay to use lethal force when they did the raid on his house. That is true. The FBI had the right to use, they could use lethal force if they needed to. Insane, man. Aaron says, have you heard about Puff's egg parties? I haven't heard a lot of specifics on the Puffy thing. I haven't heard a lot of it. I mean, again, I'll say this. Because I don't retroactively change how I feel about things, or at least I don't tell people like, oh, I knew this in the beginning. Like, I always knew Puff Daddy was a piece of shit. Okay, I always knew Vince McMahon was a piece of shit. All right, I didn't know Garth Brooks was a piece of shit. I did not know that. Like I used to love listening to Garth Brooks music. I still love Garth Brooks old school music. I did not think Garth Brooks was a piece of shit. I just didn't. 100% did not. Puff Daddy. 100%, or Diddy or whatever his fucking name is. Of course Diddy was a piece of shit. Everybody knew Diddy was a piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's not surprising. But most of your favorite celebrities are going to disappoint you at some point or another. It's just going to happen. And that's just the reality of it. Let's see here. The super, I don't know how to say that. Kokwi says, are you guys making IDOT merch channel specific? Potentially. yeah, as a matter of fact, I would think that probably will be something we would do. That's actually a really good idea. That I'm glad you brought up, because we have kind of like discussed a lot of different options about like how we're going to handle that. I will say I appreciate all of you guys, because we did sell quite a bit of IDOT merchandise, so that's really cool. So thank you so much. But yeah, specific like to like tabletop or sports wars or park hopping, absolutely. Troy New says, what are your thoughts on the bizarre interview with Tucker Carlson and Frank Underwood Spacey? That was weird, wasn't it? That was strange with him in character. I mean, I appreciated that they were going for it, but it was very much like, what is Tucker doing? He interviewed Kevin Spacey as Frank Underwood. That was a strange one right there. Eric K says, Gary thinks Bruce sucks and Jeremy swallows. Well, Gary's a big fan of Bon Jovi. So don't tell him I said it, but like, cause he's really passionate about Bon Jovi's music. Guy, like every time I'm hanging out with Gary, he's just always singing Living on a Prayer. Like every fucking time. He's just always singing Living on a Prayer. It's like, dude, it's okay. It's fine. Bon Jovi's okay, I guess. But like Gary just sings it all the time. And every time like he has like a video like gets demonetized, he goes, I'm wanted, Jeremy. I'm wanted, dead or alive. And I'm like, because your video got demonetized? He takes it way too seriously. It's very fucking weird. But whatever, man. Go for it. And I don't understand it. But Mike says you should see the think about bringing Naomi. I don't know how you say her last name, but we follow each other. Let's see, would be a base crossover. I love how passionate she is, beautiful as well. Yeah, she follows me on Twitter. I follow her back. She's got a lot of good content for sure. Let me see. Yeah, Bon Jovi is for girls, Van Halen's for dudes. I tell Gary, like, I don't get it. I don't know why he's got this obsession with Bon Jovi. Hang on, I gotta pull this comment up. Hang on. On F&T, we should super chat Bon Jovi lyrics. Please do this tomorrow. All right. Please send him Bon Jovi lyrics. Oh, God. That would be so great. Listening to him read it. I hope he's not watching right now. I hope he's not watching. Oh, shit. That'll be so great. Sergeant Sodomy says, I've made explosions in my bathroom bigger than the one in Beirut. P.S. It's only a war crime if it's committed during wartime. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Ministry of Wrong Thing says, did you see FEMA just said they're out of money to help with the disaster and literally giving millions to undocumented illegals? Yep. Grand Potato says John Lennon was the original beta soy boy. I don't disagree with that one at all. Frank the Tide Dude says, it's been a wild ride this past year, Jeremy, but thanks to you, I heard and learned from the source and made my own opinions. Wish more could say the same. Well, thank you, man. Hey, that's all you got to do. Do your research, make up your own mind. That's really all it comes down to. Speaking of how like it's been a weird year, but like I said that, I think I said this on Daily today, but I was watching like on my TV in the living room. I had it on YouTube and it just auto played to like a CobraCast from like 6 months ago or 8 months ago. And it was on my fucking 70-inch TV. And like my big fucking ugly face is there. And that's when I had like, when I let my facial hair grow out. And I'm like, what the fuck? This looks terrible. Why did I let my facial hair grow out this much? This looks horrible. So yeah, it was really bad. It was really bad. I was like, what the hell's wrong with me? Christian Rocker says the Geeks and Gamers logo is actually based off Jeremy's eyes. And that's why there's no eyebrows. Trump 2024, Advance 2028, 199. Let's go. Let's see. Mexican Iron Man in the house. Trump 2024. Beatles and D-Day Cobra in real life is the fearless leader, Jeremy. And hail the 199. Beatles suck and Trump 2024. Let's go. What's up, Mexican Iron Man in the house? VJ the Vigilant says Gary likes it slippery when wet. God, tomorrow's gonna be fantastic. I can't wait. Grand Potato says Jeremy likes getting rocked by a hurricane. Pixel Shark says I only know about Bon Jovi because of Spaceballs. Let's see over on Rumble. B. Barrett says we deserve Sydney after making us suffer through Rosie. Got to give the people what they need or they're gonna leave. You guys love Rosie O'Donnell from what I understand. I'm just telling you that's just what I heard. Unless we get super chats with Bon Jovi lyrics on Friday Night Tights tomorrow, then I just take that as you guys love Rosie O'Donnell. That's it. Bronson Knight says, if anything, it's just FigTube being stupid because you rumbled. You sound perfectly fine, you dirty Bama son bitch. Vault95 says, all Jeremy's thumbnails are 100% real, unaltered photographs. Also, Beardo, where's Beardo and Jay? We need a couple of high T voices. Wonder how many people out there are questioning where the military is to protect this nation. Completely useless. Sad but true. Bronson Knight says, Jeremy, the math don't math. Sadly, the number of illegals in those states is way the fuck higher, but still too big to rig. Statistically impossible for so many elections to be by 1% all the time. NPR is soft-spoken evil, gets their guard down with calm, smooth, outright lies to get the arrogant lib to feel smug in false moral superiority. Stealth effective propaganda at work. I do think that those numbers are probably a lot higher than even what's being reported, but still, Trump will not be denied. He will not be denied. The Cowboy Ninja said, did you see Ron DeSantis post on the port strike today? I saw something about that. I didn't look too far into it. There was so many other stories going around. And on that note, I do want to see, so am I right? Did Melania Trump do an interview with Hannity? Am I right about that? Let me see if I can pull that up really quick. See if I can find it. I don't even know if it's posted or not yet. Let's see here. Don't see anything yet. I don't want to go to YouTube TV if I don't have to, but I will if I have to. Let's see. Here we go. All right, share this. Here we go.
Now, yesterday, I sat down with former First Lady Melania Trump to discuss her new memoir called Melania. We spoke about the upcoming election, the importance of this race, and the lawfare that is being used against her husband, her family. Here's part one of that interview. Take a look. Madam First Lady, it's great to see you again.
Nice to see you, too.
Thank you for doing this. You don't love media interviews, and I don't blame you, because I watch a lot of media too, and I'm a part of it for 35 years. We are grateful that you're here. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
So we're 34 days away from an election. I've covered politics my whole life. It is a long, hard, tough, grueling process, as you know. What's this process like for you?
As you said, it's a long process. And you just need to be in it and enjoy it as much as you can. Also, you need to be very focused and take it day by day. Some surprises come as well, so it is very important that you prepare for those surprises.
What's election day and election night like for you? I'm sure if I was on the ballot, I would imagine I'd probably be a wreck. You know?
Well, as I explained in my book, I'm very calm. That's maybe my personality. And because I know on the election day, it's all in the people's hands. Yeah. People decide what they want for this country. And it will be again this year on November 5th.
Yeah, here we go again, your third run. You know, one of the most interesting stories to me is when, and I've known your husband for many years, long before he ever got into politics. And then when he was thinking about it, we had a lot of late night conversations about issues, and we would kind of go back and forth and debate. And what's so fascinating is that he was going up against 16 of the top governors and senators in our country. And when he brought the issue to you that he was thinking of running, you're quoted as saying, well, you know, if you run, you're going to win. True story?
True story.
How did you know?
I saw how people react to him and his a passion for this country. And we travel all around the world, and he was making speeches at that time. And I saw what the people want. And I think the country was ready for change. They wanted to have somebody who was not in politics all the time. And I saw it. I saw in him as well that he really wants to do it at that time. He was talking for many, many years, but he really felt 2016 was the right time.
What, if anything, is different this time around?
I would think that the world, and especially United States, is more divided than ever before. We are dealing with much more danger, and especially we see what's going on the world and the threats that we get. And
just a reminder, the mainstream media hates this woman. Just a reminder, the mainstream media hates this woman. Imagine that. They hate her. They despise her. They write hit pieces on her. They talk bad about her. What has she ever done to deserve any of that? She's Donald Trump's wife. That's what she's done. Absolutely insane.
Husband, what he went through in the last few months.
Yeah, I'm going to get to the issue of the assassination, and there are new threats, as you know, and we'll talk about that. Let's talk about the divided country. And you often talk about you want the country united. I like the country united. Some people wouldn't believe it, but I have very strong political beliefs about what the right thing to do is to get the country on the right track, putting politics aside. How do you reconcile those that want open borders and those that want secure borders, those that want high taxes and those that want tax cuts and a free market economy? How do you reconcile those that want to defund and dismantle the police and those that believe in law and order, or those that believe in energy independence and those that don't, or those that believe in peace through strength and those that, for example, Kamala Harris doesn't think we should use the words radical Islamic terrorism? How do you reconcile such differing views in your view and be united as you want, like you talk about?
I think we need to listen to each other. I think we need to we have different perspectives. We have different beliefs. We need to respect our freedom of speech, our individuality. I think it's very important that ideas are heard, that we have a very, very straightforward communications, and we share the idea, we debate, because I think with that, we could have innovation and success in this country. I feel it's a troubling trade in this country that we are canceling people that they don't agree on certain issues.
I want to talk to you about, you've been a victim of cancel culture in ways that I never knew about. And I want to get to that too in the course of this interview.
Somebody said, did we watch this 2 weeks ago? No, this just premiered tonight.
Politics, though, has gotten pretty rough and tumble. And again, having done this for over 3 decades, look at what you and your family have had to go through. I covered the Russia, as the president would say, the Russia hoax, Russia, right? 3 years, it was all based on a lie, and it was debunked. I watched him go through not one, but 2 impeachments. We'll get to the assassination attempts. He's been through so much, but so have you. And what stunned me is when you actually said that when they first impeached him, Oh, I'm surprised it took so long. Wow, you were expecting it all.
I did, because I saw how they treat him, how the media was against him. I think they are afraid of his strength. And he was leading this country with peace through strength.
Yeah.
So as soon he announced that he's running for the president, everything really changed.
I appreciate how much people in the chat hate Sean Hannity. I just want you guys to know that I do appreciate it, because I think if we could all agree on one thing, it's that Sean Hannity does suck.
And I saw it and I said, this will not be very pleasant, but I knew what he's into it, what he will need to deal with. And as soon he announced presidency, and then when he won, they start already talking about the impeachment. The opposition newspaper had the front page story, impeachment is starting. So I always said to him, what is next? So it's, in one way, you're not surprised. And
much like how I talked about with Bruce Springsteen and how everything that he says about Kamala Harris, you could basically just repurpose that, and he would say the same thing about any other Democratic nominee. That's Hannity. Like, the fact that Hannity has been there, like he's been pretty loyal to Trump for the most part, but it's not really Trump that he's loyal to. It's that Trump is the top dog in the Republican Party. So Hannity's going to be loyal to any person with an R next to their name, regardless. That's all that matters to him. So that's why it's the same thing as Bruce Springsteen.
Every event that it happened, I'm thinking, what is next? What they are trying to do? And you always fear the worst, and that it happened.
What happened to Combs? Well, I mean, I know didn't he die? But even before he died, they had gotten rid of him. It used to be called Hannity and Combs back in the day, and then Combs passed away. I don't know how many ever years ago, several years ago. I think Alan Combs was his name, if I'm not mistaken, right? Alan Combs, and yeah, it was kind of like, it was tough to watch that show, man, because like Alan Combs, like you could tell like Alan Combs was just there to be a punching bag for Sean Hannity is all he was. But it was a while back. Was it 10 years ago? Yeah. I remember watching Hannity and Combs back in the day. Holy crap, man. Hannity and Combs all that time ago. But it looks like the interview was a little bit longer, but that's all I had on that one, and I don't see any more that they have uploaded to YouTube. I hate uploading to or I hate signing into YouTube TV because it signs me into something else. But I do want to watch this really quick. We got the 5 reacting to Jack Smith's October surprise. Here we go.
His election interference case dropped an October surprise, unsealing a key filing from special counsel Jack Smith's January 6 case. It's a hefty document coming in at 165 pages, laying out Smith's case and alleged evidence he'll use in an eventual trial against the former president. Trump reacting on Truth Social by calling it, quote, complete and total election interference. I did nothing wrong. They did. Andy McCarthy calling out the timing when I asked him about it earlier.
Good job, Dana.
The point of this was to try to get this information, which has been hashed out again and again before the American people. None of this is new, but the idea was to get the evidence out in as spectacular way as possible. The point of releasing this now can only be to affect the election. There's no legal need for it.
Some in the media, though, they see an opportunity. This might have been the
Jeremy keeps saying he's new to this, but then knows things. What do you mean by that? What do you mean? I don't know what that means. Am I new to what? The news that I'm covering? Yeah, I don't really know a lot about this story. I saw it going around. What do you mean? Fucking answer me. Fucking answer me right now. You talk shit and I see it and I'm highlighting it. Answer. Fucking answer right now. Fucking answer. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Come on, I'm waiting. We're waiting. This is content. Come on. The people are waiting. Explain yourself. I'm just fucking with you. It's fine.
The October surprise they were hoping that Jack Smith's filing will make Republicans rethink their support for the former president. Take a look.
Charlie, for the, handful of voters who are maybe former Nikki Haley supporters or just Republicans.
Politics? Well, wait a minute. I never said I'm new to politics. What are you talking about? When did I say I'm new to politics? I've literally said I've been into politics my whole life, give or take. I've talked about this before. I don't know what that means. So I am retarded if that's what you're thinking. That I have said too. I am definitely retarded.
Who need to be reminded once more why they should not be voting for Donald Trump. Do you think it would be effective for Vice President Harris?
Miscommunication is fun.
This in whatever way legally she is allowed to on the campaign trail.
Greg, I know that
he's not stirring up trouble. I just saw a comment to highlight. He seems innocent and all. I don't think it was intentionally to start any shit. I'm just a sarcastic douchebag.
A lot of people say there were bombshells in here. I mean, I read it and I felt like I'd heard and seen all of this before.
They're trying to revive the corpse of January 6th.
That's
I have
exactly.
to say though, this is an improvement over 2020 because in this case, this election interference is done right in front of you.
Hang on. I got to be fair to him. I thought you said you were new to streaming it. Well, yeah, I mean, I would say I don't know if I'm new to streaming it. I mean, technically I've been streaming it for 2 years now, but yeah, I mean, I haven't been doing it for as long as I've been on YouTube. But yeah, I guess maybe in some way I've said I'm new to streaming it, but it's because I haven't been doing it that long. I don't think I streamed the 2020 stuff and all of that. I mean, I covered it, but I don't think I was streaming back then.
From a combination of lawfare and the media embrace. You got to go back to February 4th, 2021, when Time Magazine published an article boasting of the conspiracy of business titans and left-wing activists to oppose what they called Trump's assault on democracy. They described it as a vast shadow effort, an organized collection of operatives that changed voting systems and laws, secured hundreds of millions of dollars in public and private funding. They recruited, armies of poll workers, got millions to vote by mail. Then they went after disinformation. They pressured social media companies. They called that election protection. So we, Republicans, independents, libertarians, we're suspicious when we're told that our side or the person we support is an existential risk. We were told that everything was on the table, that in fact, if you didn't cheat, that would be immoral. So what they did was they suppressed Hunter's laptop,
Sean Green is
which
correct.
ushered in Joe's ill-gotten victory. So the suspicion of a rigged election is more than justified because you told us that. You told us what you...
Rigged, man. Better be careful of the gamer words there, Gutfeld. Come on now. Let's not have no gamer words dropping on live TV, buddy. We don't need a PewDiePie bridge moment, okay?
We're going to do. So I think that's an important context when you approach a January 6th. It wasn't an attempt to overthrow the government. It was we're just reacting to what you guys said.
Judge Andy McCarthy explained today that there's no written rule that you don't do this before 30 days, but it was kind of an unwritten rule. But all these norms have been broken.
Yeah, well, there's no question that the Department of Justice has had regulations over the years that say whenever there is an election on a state or national level, you do not release, number one, an investigation, an indictment, anything that may impact the election. And I always thought that it was 90 days. And And, but it's clear here that what the judge did, Judge Chutkan, with her briefing and her motions calendar, she made it so that Jack Smith would be able to submit his papers on this date. And the former president, should have his answers by October 17th. Now, I just heard that was changed about an hour ago until after the election. But at least if they had gotten their response in by the president's team, you could have had somewhat of a balanced review of this. This is definitely election interference, and it's an attempt, as the press made clear, to try to remind voters you shouldn't vote for this guy because of all these things he did. There's nothing new in this. It's the same old stuff over and over again, where Hunter Biden got the benefit of every doubt in every calendar, in every schedule, and every statute of limitations. They're doing whatever they can to hurt Donald Trump. And what's amazing is, do you recall the sentencing for Donald Trump in New York City by Judge Ergeron was delayed because he didn't want to impact the election, which is kind of amazing because he's about as biased, I thought, as you could get. But this Judge Chutkan is even worse. She's like, let's let it all hang out right before the election.
And Jessica,
These people are fucking horrible, man. Like, again, all of these corrupt judges are after Trump. They're willing to do anything they can to stop this man. All right. That's the whole point. Is to please just keep understanding how ridiculous this all is.
Everything about January 6th, or everything about all the legal conundrums that Trump finds himself in, hasn't dented his support with Republicans. And so a lot of the media on the left are saying, oh, this is it. This is going to be the one. But do you think it's going to be the thing that turns Republicans against voting for him?
No, I don't think so. And it has never polled as such. There are people who are persuaded by the argument that there is one party that cares about protecting democracy, and there's another party that will undermine democracy if it suits them. And J.D. Vance made that clear on the debate stage when he wouldn't answer Tim Walz's question.
Who's for voter ID?
Well,
I'm just curious. Because
right,
that
not, there is no vote.
Voting integrity.
So this is a
he can't stand her, dude. He cannot stand her. You know he can't.
distraction from talking about.
No,
what's
you
in
said
your,
the threat to
no,
democracy.
Well, so there is no voter fraud. That's the thing.
Oh,
and when
how do you know?
Well, because there aren't cases of it. It gets investigated, and when there is, it's Republicans. Okay. The narrative is that Democrats are obsessed with January 6th. But the reality is that Donald Trump is the one who's obsessed with 2020. Even today, he was on stage in Michigan saying, I won, and I won by an even bigger margin than 2016. Maybe he should be quiet about it, but he can't stop himself, which puts it into the national discourse. There is new information in this filing, 165 pages. There has to be something new. We know for sure now that Donald Trump knew he lost, even though Jesse says he didn't know. And we know because he told his kids on Marine One, even it doesn't matter if you won or lost, you have to fight like hell. We knew he didn't care if Mike Pence lived or died. Now we know that he said, so what? And that there were 71 threats against Mike Pence. So bad that Mark Short...
To be fair, they got to have a crazy lefty on the panel. They have to. They have to have a crazy lefty. She does a great job of covering that role.
Had to go to that
need cross-examination. No. It's not true unless it's tested.
Mark Short went to the Secret Service to say that he was scared for his life. You have anecdotes.
But all those things are not... No, I knew all that.
Yeah,
you knew that he said, "So what?" And you knew
that
you knew about
within the spirit of everything that has been written and said about this.
Did you know about Ronna McDaniel going to the election official in Michigan who said that's effing nuts? What he's asking us to do?
It is in keeping with everything else I know about it and everything else that she said. Jesse, go ahead.
Wanda the Stuffer, by the way, is a Democrat.
Wanda?
What? You don't watch Jesse Waters Primetime?
I have children.
Well, they can watch. It's PG-13, Jessica. So the Supreme Court comes down with this ruling that presidents have full immunity when they're conducting official acts. Phone calls, talking to people in departments.
Fake electors.
It hasn't been determined.
No, what they're saying, Jessica, is like if Donald Trump goes out to the golf course as president and sees the cart girl look at him funny and smacks her teeth out with a 5-iron, that is not an official act. That is an act as a private citizen.
Right.
So what this guy Jack Smith does, he gets the ruling. He basically takes out every time it says President Trump, he crosses it off And then he writes Private Citizen Trump, and he leaves the whole thing the same. So he's saying that from the election until January 6th, he wasn't President Trump. He was Private Citizen Trump. And how does he prove that? Well, I read this motion, and he says, this is why, Jessica. When he went on to give his speech on January 6th, they didn't play Hail to the Chief. They played the Village People. They played YMCA, so that means he's not president during that speech.
Yep. Why did he
It's not a serious motion.
What? That's something I didn't know.
There you go. I didn't know that. Why did he use private lawyers instead of his White House counsel if it wasn't private?
I don't know why he did what. I know you guys are desperate.
And first, get a second opinion.
You put a $150,000 bounty in a public filing last week, and now this. It's prejudicial.
For Wanda,
and you should be ashamed of yourself.
And also, why does it matter if he says whether you win or lose, fight like hell?
Yeah.
That's great advice. That you go down swinging. They always take the words literally. Like when he said he had to find votes, they say, "Oh, he's making up votes." No, he said there's votes out there. You got to find them. And if you're fighting, you fight like hell, whether you win or you lose. That's
Yes.
the way it is.
Because you lost, so you can see it and act like a normal
No,
human.
you fight until it's over.
Isn't that simple?
He doesn't think it's
You
over.
guys
today.
did it, Hillary.
It's not over. He's still fighting right now because they won't stop. And they won't stop because he chose to run again. The whole point was that they did what they did in 2020. And the expectation was he's too old. He's going to go away. We're going to be done with him. We're going to throw a Hail Mary and we're going to get rid of this guy and we don't have to deal with him anymore. And we're going to threaten him with inciting an insurrection to let him know that you better stay on the sidelines because we are going to get you with inciting insurrection. So they think he'll just go away because he's got all this money. He's got all these properties. He doesn't want to deal with this. And what did he do? He said, I'm fighting and I'm going to run again. And then they decided to raid his house. They raided Mar-a-Lago as a warning shot. That was the warning shot. It's like, here's what we are going to do to you if you continue to go against the system and run again. And what did he do? He didn't back down. He didn't stop. He did not stop at all. So then they indicted him. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, 4 times. This is why. So he's still fighting. And it's all because he makes them uncomfortable because he is not part of the corrupt system that has been a stain on this country for so long. That's ultimately what it comes down to. It's not complicated at all. Meatwad for 10 says the biggest dummies day in America is the Fauci cult. If you still support mandates and the like, even 5 years after the fact, you are more senile than, say, the current president had to use pig Latin. I see what you were saying. Okay, I was wondering where you were going with that. I got you on that now. Thank you, brother. Yeah, dude, I still see an occasional person wearing a mask, like a person of my age, and I'm like, you are retarded. You are retarded. That simple. Fake Tie Dude for 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Samuel for 20 says there might be outliers, but Fox feels like controlled opposition these days. You play Trump's entire speech, Fox will cut right before he says something important. Bad connection, interference, etc. That's intentional. No, I don't have any faith in Fox. I think that they have some good personalities there, and I think all things considered, they have the best mainstream group. But Fox overall is controlled opposition, 100%, 100%. Raptors is Jeremy 65 years old, 72 to be fair. Pre-Done Corp says, can you do your next CobraCast in Cobra Commander voice, Jeremy? I can't do a Cobra Commander voice. I'm not that good at that. The Cowboy Ninja says, you need to pull up X and read it. Amazing. That's pretty much my entire existence on the internet. It's just pulling up Twitter and reading it. Shadow Saiyan says, what's Gary's favorite Bon Jovi song? It's My Life. That's Gary's favorite Bon Jovi song. It's My Life. He always sings it when he's driving down the road with his little cowboy hat and sunglasses. He's always just singing It's My Life. That and Living on a Prayer. Those are his two songs, man. So it's weird. It's weird. So Bed of Roses. Holy shit. Did you see Gary? You see Gary cruising down the road listening to Bed of Roses. Holy shit. Grab Potato says English isn't Melania's first language, and yet I better understand her than Kamala Walls and Biden combined. She speaks so eloquently. Yes, she does. Thank you, Grab Potato. Nandy says, damn, calm down, Karen. C.D. Stein says in Melania's book, she says she is pro-choice and the Bible-thumping religious right are clutching their pearls and second-guessing if they'll vote for him. Yeah, crazy lunatics on the right and the left drive me crazy. They really do. Ministry Run Think says, let's see. Of course, it's a huge document, so they can strategically cherry pick and slow drip from an already BS story all the way to November 5th. 1,000%. 1,000%. Let's see. Drama alert. Texan YouTuber. Wait, what? Is it on Drama Alert's Twitter account? Let's see here. Let's see here. I don't see. Hang on. No, I don't see anything. Yeah, I don't see any updates. But this picture they used of Garth Brooks is freaking hilarious. That's the picture they used for Garth Brooks. That's such a good, that just puts it into perspective right there, man. The picture they used for Garth Brooks, that is an absolute like gold picture that they used. That just puts it into perspective right there. God, how far that man has fallen. He hasn't fallen as far as Howard Stern. Howard Stern is pathetic, dude. I was never really a big Howard Stern guy myself, but it is unbelievable how far Howard Stern has fallen. Howard Stern might be the worst fall from grace we've ever seen with TDS. I would say like Eminem was a pretty bad one, but Eminem's not near as bad as Howard Stern. Howard Stern might be. Is Howard Stern the worst fall from grace? Obviously, we have worse cases of TDS probably, but like Howard Stern was like the king of all media. He was the shock jock. He was the edgy guy back in the day. And now he is a complete pathetic beta beyond belief. Well, okay, Mark Hamill, yes, but like, I don't know if Mark Hamill was perceived to be cool because he was a fictional character. I don't think anyone perceived Mark Hamill, the actual human being, to be like cool. I mean, Howard Stern was a legit megastar back in the day. Big time. Ministry of Wrong Think. Oh, I got that one. Jake Stanley says, let's invite Jay. Drunk 3PO? Who? Who's that? I saw Laughing Man was saying something about Jay earlier. What's up, Laughing Man? I see you, brother. Firefox says, how does a woman who speaks English as a second language have more clear, concise speech than our vice president? Absolutely insane. It is insane. Kevin! Garth wants 5. Kevin is here, ladies and gentlemen. Get ready. Get ready. Kevin is here. What up, Kevin? De Niro's a good one because De Niro did have the perception of being a tough guy, and people did love Robert De Niro. That's actually a good one. That's actually a good one. Papa OB1 says, New York has literally devolved into Gotham. It really has. It really has. Your Barmy says her real name is TD Sessica. Ilidium X says the media lies about not being enough evidence of fraud. The truth is all the cases were not heard because of lack of understanding. Big difference. Yep. Stream Hero says, why do you make us listen to such retards? You mean me? You mean me? Oh, you mean the Fox News people. Okay, I didn't. What did we make you hate us so much? We need answers, Jeremy. Do we not donate enough to you? I thought you just meant like me. Like, why do I make you listen to retards? Meaning like, why do I talk? So, I mean, again, we know that this stream is more profitable when I go to the Be Right Back screen. We know that. Nandy says 2020 was stolen is also about bringing into light the current establishment and mainstream media that Americans have truly woken up to. Yep. Let's see. Daria for 20. Hey, Jeremy, I'm a big fan. I love watching your videos. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That is super nice of you. Look at Tom McD said same, commented on this super chat and said same. It's, you know, it is really refreshing to have a nice super chat sent every now and then where someone is just saying like, Jeremy, you're a great guy. You know, after this stream, do you know what I do? After all the abuse I take, I kind of, you know, I sit there and I kind of turn and I look into the mirror and I say, you're good enough, you're smart enough, and doggone it, people like me. I have to do that every time. Every time. Thank you, Daria, for the 20. Eric K says, I give mask wearers benefit of the doubt. They have autoimmune disease or AIDS. I mean, back in the I had no problem when people were wearing masks before the pandemic, but now it's just like you see like all of these young people wearing them, and you're like, you know, it's not for like real safety. Or then you see like this massively overweight person like that can barely walk carrying like bags of McDonald's, but they have like a mask on outdoors. And you're like, that is not for safety. There's no way that's for safety. David Simpson says, pay attention to the 5 W's regarding the rally in Butler this Saturday. If CNN is broadcasting, be afraid. Well, CobraCast is going to be covering that. And it looks like Madam Savvy is going to be there in person. And I'm going to try to see if I can bring her into the StreamYard call to give us some firsthand coverage of the Butler, Pennsylvania return. I also think she might want to go live on her channel too. So, but either way, that's going to be super, super cool. But yeah, Saturday is going to be a big day. Kevin for 50 says Trump, Elon, golden years, but I might panic and buy Crocs, whole jeans, and fake eyebrows. Kevin, you mad lad. Max's BT says, where my breets at? Where my breets at? Jimmy Ray says, Jeremy wears a white glove when he masturbates and pretends it's Hamburger Helper. I mean, I hadn't really thought about that, but it doesn't sound like a terrible idea. So Woodstock for 10 says, I live in Wisconsin. I was driving and saw a bunch of boomers at an intersection today holding Harris 2024 signs. I had to turn down my Depeche Mode CD and give them a thumbs up. Man buns for Harris. Thank you, Woodstock. I appreciate it. John Amler says, Jeremy, you're a great guy. A great guy. Nandy says, Savvy better be prepared. Heard Trump likes them trimmed. God dang y'all. It's getting to be CobraCast after hours here. We got to end this thing pretty soon. It's getting out of control. Let's see. I got that one. Hail Rumble, hail Kick, hail Twitter, and hail YouTube, as always. Okay, so again, tomorrow, make sure you send lyrics of Bon Jovi songs to Friday Night Tights super chats. Please do that, okay? Gary loves Bon Jovi. He loves them. He's a huge fan. He drives around listening to Bed of Roses all the time. It's weird. I mean, I don't hate Bon Jovi. But Gary loving them as much as he does, you know how you have that one friend that like likes a sports team or likes something that's a fan of something so much that it just inherently makes you hate it? Like, I don't hate Bon Jovi. I actually like Bon Jovi. But Gary loves them so much that it makes me hate them. It's like I can't take this Bon Jovi love. So, Bon Jovi, Send him some lyrics, super chats. He'll sing it. He may listen, I can't confirm this, okay? But there's a rumor that when Gary's listening to Bon Jovi, he shuts the refrigerator door with his hip. I can't confirm nor deny that, okay? I cannot confirm nor deny. But when Gary's listening to Bon Jovi, he shuts the refrigerator door with his hip. So, I don't know. So, Kevin for 50. What the hell are you talking about now, Kevin? What are you talking about now? Kevin says Jessica Lindstrom feet comics. A frog kisses your feet and then keeps kissing your feet. What? Just like you got a fan, Jessica. You got a fan. Jeremy's eyebrow says, if Jeremy forces us to watch more white dudes for Harris video, I'm never coming back. Ministry of Wrong Things says, that's called sausage helper. Jeremy's, oh my God. Nandy says, yep, logging off. Good night. Whew. There we go. All right. We're going to end it on that. I appreciate it. Yes, I'm going to give you guys Sabaton on Rumble, Kick, and Twitter. So we're going to have to end on YouTube. I'll give you a Sabaton over there on Rumble. We will be live tomorrow. Okay. We will be live tomorrow. My goodness. This is a good stream. 3 hours. 3 hours on a non-announced CobraCast. We can work with that. Okay. I'm going to try to go live as much as possible this month. There's a lot to cover. There's a lot to talk about. I know you guys want to talk about stuff. We want to hear perspectives. So I do appreciate you guys being so supportive as always. This was an awesome night and good stuff indeed. So Eric K says Jeremy needs to go find his white glove. All right. So we're going to end on YouTube. Okay. We're going to end on YouTube. And then we are going to play Sabaton on the other platforms. Again, I can't play it here because I keep getting hit with copyright, and YouTube's copyright system is garbage. It just is. There's nothing you can do about it. So it is what it is. But if you guys want to see the Sabaton outro, you can go over to Rumble or Kick or Twitter and check it out there. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Best chat on the internet, and it's not even close. Thank you guys for having a fun discussion with me. And I'll see you tomorrow. We got Geeks and Gamers Daily. We got what else we got? We got Friday Night Tights, and we have CobraCast tomorrow. So with that said, I'm going to go to the ending screen, and then we will come back with Sabaton over on Rumble and Kick and Twitter. Have a good night. Talk to all. No Fortnite tonight. And I'm about to upload a video to Geeks and Gamers. So have a good night. Let's see. I don't know why you're spamming the chat with like spoilers for a movie that I'm not seeing, but you're done. So you're out of here. You got to go. So there you go. I mean, that's just unnecessary. There's absolutely no reason. Like, I don't want to see the fucking movie, but other people might want to see it. And you're intentionally just being a fucking pork wallet by doing that. So you're fucking done. It's over. So you're a piece of shit. I just banned you. So go fuck yourself, since no one else will. By the way, to the person I just banned in the chat, by the way, okay, listen, you need to talk with your dad. Okay. This is an issue because your mom wanted to hook up the other night, and I got to see some of the goods. She said your dad hooked up with her because her clit looks like a little penis. That seems like a problem you need to work out with the family, but get the fuck out of my chat. You guys have a good night. Sabaton on the other side. Bye, everyone.